Jeremy Kyle is later at 9:25. It's after GMTV on ITV1.
Staying safe on the wildest night of the year. Do you know how you're getting home tonight?
At the moment, I'm planning on going home on the tram with my friend, but then I'm not quite sure what I'm doing at the other end.
Good morning, this is the News Hour on GMTV.
Yes, it's 6 o'clock on Friday, the 16th of December, 2005.
On the programme this morning, it's the last weekend before Christmas, the busiest night of the year for office parties. Do you know how you're getting home safely tonight? More in a moment.
Also this hour, the ticking time bomb of Alzheimer's disease. A worrying new report reveals the number of victims will double every 20 years. Are Western governments taking the condition seriously enough?
And after 30:30, the ultimate present for Christmas, the gift of life. Meeting a woman who will go under the knife this weekend to save her friend.
And has Kong bombed? We cross stateside, where movie executives of the £200 million film are nervously watching box office receipts.
Now, I'm hoping that my present to John will be useful this weekend. Will it, Andrea?
I don't know what you've got him.
Nor do I.
Another thermal vest.
Ah, thank you.
Yes. In fact, if you give it to him early, you might even put it on today for the Christmas party tonight.
By tonight, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Oh. Good morning. Bit of a mishmash today. Weather-wise, we do have a fair amount of cloud around, some light rain as well across southern parts of England and Wales. To the north, brighter skies, especially across northern England, southern Scotland. But you can see here already, this is the beginning of the snow. As we go into the afternoon, we will see that snow that's over the far north of Scotland starting to slide its way down the eastern side of Scotland, eventually making it into northeast England. What you will notice today, as you're heading out to work and then later your Christmas party, it's going to be very, very cold, so wrap up well.
Very much. The top story this morning on one of the biggest party nights of the year. Women are being told, enjoy yourself, but make sure you get home safely. Matt Arnold is in Manchester. Matt.
Good morning, Penny. Yes, absolutely right. In the licensing trade, actually, they call tonight Black Friday. Nothing too ominous there. It's just meaning that it's the night where everybody in the country goes out for a pre-Christmas drink and a party celebration. Lots and lots of office parties taking place, and generally a night for everybody to have fun. But of course, the message is very important. The police in every city in the country are very keen to get that message over about partying safely and getting home safely. Well, I went out and about in Manchester last night and met up with lots of people enjoying their office shindigs. They really did have a good time, and it's pleasing to say that there wasn't any trouble that I saw anywhere, and everybody did seem to have thought about it. When I say everybody, not quite everybody had thought about how they were going to get home.
If you've got all your friends around you, that's really good, but, you know, sometimes you can end up on your own. You've had too much to drink, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know who's going to pick you up.
We're interested in how much planning you've thought about how to get home.
Do you know what? We haven't thought about it.
To be honest, there is no thought in how to get home.
You hear so many stories about, like, stuff happening in taxis that you have to be so careful now, so it's always a big thing when we go out to plan how everyone's getting home.
It's worth thinking about, isn't it? Now, the police in Manchester have run a model which has been replicated across the country in 50 different cities up and down the land. And this is the basic campaign they're showing here. And as you can see, it says on the poster, no thanks, no problem, no trouble. Small words, big difference. And perhaps we've got time just to have a look at this one on the right as well. Pace, small decision, big result. Pace your drinks and stay out of trouble. But I think the biggest message that everybody's trying to push is that, particularly for young women who are out on their own after an office party tonight, stay in friends, keep a mobile with you, and if you can, make sure you're going home by taxi. If it's a black cab, that's so much the better.
Matt, thank you very much.
Let's catch up on the rest of the news. Here's Arouge.
Thanks, John. Good morning. The number of people with dementia is said to double every 20 years. It's estimated that 750,000 people suffer in Britain and 24 million worldwide. Experts who've published their findings in a medical journal today say the government must care for patients with a higher priority. Mothers who've lost a baby through sudden infant death syndrome are more likely to have complicated future pregnancies. New research highlights problems including premature birth, which increases the risk of SIDS. It was already known this group of mothers is 5 times more likely to have a future baby die in the same way, but it wasn't known why. Millions of Iraqis have turned out to vote in the country's historic parliamentary election, despite sporadic violence. Bomb and mortar attacks damaged several voting centres and at least 4 people were killed. But high turnouts were reported and official results will be announced in 10 days. George Bush has finally agreed to support a law banning the torture of prisoners by soldiers and the CIA. He's bowed to pressure after a series of abuse scandals. US soldiers have been heavily criticised for their conduct at Iraq's Abu Ghraib prison and at Guantanamo Bay. There have also been reports the CIA has run secret prisons abroad to hold terrorism suspects. Tony Blair begins the tough talking in Brussels today. He's battling to salvage a European budget deal. Fellow EU leaders are demanding the UK surrender more of its annual rebate. Failure to resolve the budget crisis would be a personal blow to the Prime Minister and would mark a disappointing end to his EU presidency. Detectives investigating the shooting of 2 young people whose bodies were found in a field have revealed the couple had been in a relationship. 16-year-old Carol Lem and 20-year-old Lee Smith had recently split up. They were found in the countryside near Rotherham. Both had a single gunshot wound to the head. Police say one of them may have committed suicide. Breast cancer patients have a better chance of survival if they're treated with radiation after surgery. Radiation after a lumpectomy is standard practice in the UK, but some women decide against it because of fears of side effects. But a new study says a woman's 5-year risk of cancer returning drops dramatically following radiotherapy. A passenger plane has been forced to make an emergency landing on a tropical island. The Venezuela state airline has taken off from the airport Caracas, but got into problems with its landing gear. Firefighters sprayed foam across the runway before the plane landed safely on its belly at Margarita Island. Amazing escape. Now, you might have been in bed and missed it, but last night the moon was the brightest and biggest it's appeared for 20 years. That's because the moon's orbit brought it much closer to the Earth than usual. We're expected to gobble down about 10 million turkeys this Christmas. Butchers have been inundated with orders for the festive season and are bracing themselves for a last-minute rush. It seems despite other meals becoming more popular, the traditional turkey roast is still the nation's Christmas #1. And finally, apparently you are what you sneeze. Body language experts say most of us have a very specific style of sneezing which matches our personalities. Nick Dixon reports.
According to body language experts, there are very distinctive types of sneeze action. The nice sneezer is a warm, friendly and relaxed person who will work hard to make friends but won't trouble you with an over-the-top sneeze. Enthusiastic sneezers are charismatic, lusty and powerful and show imagination with their sneezing. And the get-it-done sneezer, a quick and straightforward sneeze that shows you're efficient and uncomplicated. So if you've got the sniffles this Christmas, put a bit of personality into your sneezing. It's not to be sniffed at.
I'm definitely warm and friendly. It's now 6 minutes past 8. I'm back at 8:30. Over to Penny and John.
And I'm not using any of their computers.
No, absolutely. That's all our mates, by the way. It's all sneezing.
Exactly. Yes, obviously there's a terrible flu and cold problem going on at the moment. Yes. Mind you, I had a lovely sneeze this morning.
Did you?
It was so lovely. Yeah, it was actually it took me by surprise. Almost blew my head off. Excellent. Let's have a look at the front pages of the newspapers. And the Daily Telegraph, the day the ballot beat the bombers. That's from Iraq. Stop looking at me in a funny tone of voice.
I haven't said a word. Just come.
That's obviously from Iraq. We're going to be speaking to Baghdad a little bit later on. The Times, greedy lawyers to repay victims. That's about some of the countries, in fact, most successful law firms who have got to repay some of the money that they took from miners when they were suing.
Scandalous story, that.
Absolutely scandalous story. The Independent. The culling fields, a mass slaughter plan for badgers, which has provoked an outcry. This is about TB crisis. Animal groups denying that a cull will actually make the TB crisis any better. The Guardian, go ahead for first full face transplant. And another animal story down there, polar bears at risk as the world heats up. And finally, another animal story, because I'm just obsessed with animal stories, as you know. But look at that. That is a minnow. How big is that?
A very big minnow.
Exactly.
How big?
Well, it's about, I think it's about 4.5 inches. It's
Right.
just 4.5 inches. That is a big minnow.
Where's it found?
I think it was in Wiltshire, and this chap actually went... our director's just said in somebody's hand. Yeah, thank you very much.
Front page
actually went back in the river.
Front page of the Express features the Buick Swan, which apparently has arrived on our shores, indicating to some that we might have a white Christmas. Our weather forecasters say not. Council tax to double is their main story, under devastating plans being considered by ministers. The Sun, British Krieg, is a story saying that football fans at the World Cup, English football fans, in a strange twist of history, are going to be protected by German tanks. And the Daily Mirror, TV funny man in child porn arrest, that's Chris Langham, arrested for the reasons already outlined. And on the front page of the Daily Mail, why was he set free so early? This is a psychopathic thug known as a Devil's Child, is convicted yesterday of murdering the millionaire financier Mr Monkton, apparently after an early release from prison. Well, let's move on to some sport now. The time at 6:10, and after a predictably controversial exit from Old Trafford, Roy Keane has hit back at his old club, accusing former United teammates of not sharing his passion to succeed. That's the headline on the back page of the Daily Mail this morning. Keane looks back in anger. He made those comments after ending days of speculation and indeed signing for Celtic.
Obviously, there's been speculation over the last few years about me coming up here, and you know, I'm under no illusions. As I said, the challenge ahead for me, I'm not looking to unwind, or it's not a financial move for me, far from it. It's me coming up here seeking a new challenge for me.
Well, joining me now to talk about that is former Celtic and Chelsea player Paul Elliott. Paul, good morning to you.
Morning, John.
What do you make of Keane continuing this, not tirade against his former club and his mates, but actually these comments about him not sort of being up to scratch and his passion?
Well, there's justification to a degree, but everybody's got to move on. He's moved on. I think it's a fine acquisition for Celtic. Vastly experienced, 34 years of age, coming into a side that's top of the SPL, 3 points ahead. A lot of continuity and stability in the camp, and I sense he's going to do extremely well. He'll bring...
Some say he's too old and he's too injury prone.
No, I mean, I think, yes, Johnny's 34, but he's got an abundance of experience. He's been Manchester United's best player, if not the best in the Premiership for the last 12 years. And I think Keane has got an affinity with Celtic. There's no question about that. And I think at this moment in time, I think he's sent a few shotways to the SPL.
Will he be an automatic choice for the first team?
I'm not so sure. I mean, in there they've got Petrov in midfield, they've got Lennon, they've got Sutton, they've got Hartson, 4 very strong and influential players. And I think sooner or later, yes, but initially I think he's got to get himself fit. I believe, John, his debut is in January the 8th for Clyde in the Scottish Cup. But I think, yeah, it appears to be that he's returned to his spiritual home.
Let's have a look at last night's action. Middlesbrough in UEFA Cup action.
5,000 people, so they've got something to cheer about.
They have. Let's I hope that all sorts of fans all over the country will have lots to cheer about this weekend. Lots of action, of course, and top of the bill, Arsenal versus Chelsea.
Absolutely, a colossal game in prospect, John.
Yeah, and if Arsenal lose this, that's it, isn't it, for them?
I probably would agree with you. I mean, they're 17 points behind. They're in 6th place. You know, the goal show in front of goal. You take away Thierry Henry, there's not a lot of firepower. Bergkamp's back after 3 games. They've been beaten the last 2, Newcastle and Bolton respectively, so a colossal game in prospect.
Manchester United are at Villa. Now, they're up and downside, aren't they?
Yeah, inconsistent Villa, but Manchester United 9 points behind Chelsea, John. Emphatic 4-0 victory in the week versus Wigan. So I think psychologically they've got to sustain that momentum and keep up their winning ways.
At the other end of the table, we've got Portsmouth playing...
West Brom, absolute 6-pointer for Harry Redknapp. Got beaten 3-1 earlier in the week. Very unlucky. West Brom, Earnshaw's just handing in transfer requests. 6 points adrift, Portsmouth. They are desperate for a result. I actually think they'll get it.
Really?
I do indeed, John.
Is that West Brom?
No, they're at home.
They're at home, all right.
Eternal optimist, I am.
Well, congratulations. Well, I hope so. They have a turn in their fortune because they've had a bad run, haven't they?
They have indeed.
And congratulations, I was going to say, to Liverpool for last night's victory.
Oh, John, no question about it. The man of it was so impressive. 11th clean sheet, a record, defending very well. And I think all concerned at Liverpool are more than delighted as we approach the Christmas period.
Absolutely. Paul, enjoy your weekend. If I don't see you again, happy Christmas.
Thank you, John.
Time is 14 minutes past 6. You're watching the News Hour on GMTV. This morning's headlines on one of the busiest party nights of the year. Women are being warned not to use licensed taxis to get home. The number of people... Oops, sorry.
The number of people suffering from dementia will double over the next 20 years. The government's told to make provision now.
And voting for Turkey at Christmas will gobble up 10 million in our favourite festive meal. So as you heard there in the news headlines, a ticking time bomb is the conclusion of a worrying new report out today about dementia. The study published in The Lancet says a new case of dementia arises every 7 seconds, and the number of people diagnosed is expected to double every 20 years. Talking to Clive Evers from the Alzheimer's Society in a moment. But first, Lucy McDonald reports on the findings.
The study by charity Alzheimer's Disease International is the first global consensus on the number of people who suffer from dementia. It says every 7 seconds a new case arises, estimating that across the globe 24.3 million suffer, 750,000 in Britain alone. By 2040 it's predicted that will rise to 1.2 million, or 81 million worldwide. It affects 1 in 20 people over 65. Philip Gerard discovered he had Alzheimer's in August 2000, aged just 58. He can no longer use the phone or drive.
At the moment, I'm getting a little bit worse on Alzheimer's. Like I can almost feel it creeping up on me.
The issue's been brought to the fore recently as Coronation Street character Mike Baldwin is struck down with dementia in a storyline. Little is known about what causes it, but as people live longer and longer, experts all agree it's a time bomb waiting to explode.
Well, as I said, Clive Evers from the Alzheimer's Society joins me. It is an incredible report, isn't it? A new case of dementia every 7 seconds.
Yes, this report has a lot of significance, especially for governments across the world, and it's a real wake-up call for both governments, policymakers and planners to really prepare for this increase in the number of cases of dementia.
To do what?
To prepare for support and resources. At the moment, the burden of care falls on the immediate family and carers. Much can be done to improve the quality of life of people with dementia here and now, in techniques of communication, techniques of support and care, the availability of some of the drug treatments. We have
Which,
three.
of course, is a problem at the moment.
It is. There is a major debate going on in the UK about the availability of the 3 currently licensed drugs. The Alzheimer's Society believes that these drugs should continue to be made available because they're the only treatments. Dementia is the 3rd most disabling condition across the world after spinal cord injury and terminal cancer, and it needs to be taken seriously.
But it does seem, it's interesting though, that the growth of dementia is increasing in developed countries and is not in the underdeveloped countries.
The main reason is that the risk factor, the key risk factor, remains aging. As people age, 1 in 5 of the over 80s may be affected. And so as public health and care improves in the developing countries, then so people will be living longer. And again, this points to countries like India, to China and to some of the South Pacific countries. As care and support improves in those countries, then people will be living longer. So it's possible to plan now. We have some time. We have 5, 10 years maybe. This is not going to happen overnight, but unless governments start to plan now, there will be major problems. Some countries, like France and Australia, have set aside dedicated funding to improve support and research. And that's what we would like to see in the UK, instead of it being assumed that social services and health care for older people will generally pick up the funding. It has to be dedicated, ring-fenced funding we're looking for.
Clive Evers, thank you very much.
Time now is 18 minutes past 6. A very good morning to you if you're just joining us. Historic, peaceful and the relief of security forces without major incident. Western governments have hailed yesterday's election in Iraq a success. It could be 2 weeks now before the final result is known. Joining me on the line from Baghdad, Reuters correspondent Alistair MacDonald. Alistair, one is hesitant to get too excited about any positive development in Iraq, but this does seem as though it was a success and we have a return to democracy.
We certainly had a very successful day in terms of the goals that the government set themselves here. We had very little violence, indeed much less than there had been on many normal days. And we do appear to have at least 2/3, possibly many more, of the country voting, including in areas which had not previously voted, where the insurgency has been strong. So yes, there is a parliament. It will take several weeks to produce results. It's very unclear at this stage exactly what shape it will have. The issue now is, of course, that it's a parliament of groups that have very, very violently opposing views. So we shall see how that can sort itself out politically, or whether there's going to be further trouble.
Is it a parliament that can actually work, and if so, how will it affect people's lives, do you think?
Well, I mean, it has all the institutional bases there, and the constitution that was drawn up in some detail, albeit opposed by the Sunni Arabs, the minority that was dominant under Saddam, but they've agreed to join in this election, get their representatives in parliament. So the tools are all there. We will see there's a very complex process now coming up that's likely to last weeks, if not months, of forming a government. There'll be no party that we expect will have any sort of majority. There's a fair number of steps that need to be gone through, in which 2/3 of Parliament needs to agree appointing a president, which is one of the first things they have to do. And so this will require all sorts of coalition arrangements, deals and negotiations among the various groups. So there is a potential for the kind of paralysis that we saw earlier this year after the elections for the interim assembly, when there were fewer groups represented, and it did take many weeks, in fact over a couple of months.
So a way to go yet. There we're going to leave it. Alistair MacDonald, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Time is 6:21. Still to come on the News Hour, it's Christmas party day. How will you be getting home? Looking at the dangers for women on one of the busiest nights of the year.
And we meet the person getting the ultimate Christmas present this year, the gift of life.
Time is 6:23. You're watching the News Hour on GMTV. It's the last weekend before Christmas, and tonight will be about office parties and harmless festive revelry, we hope. But just how safe are women as they head home after their night out? Well, Matt Arnold is in Manchester this morning. Matt.
Good morning, Penny. I'm in Bar in Manchester city centre. They kindly let us in here this morning, and I say kindly let us in because for bar staff, this is the busiest night of the year, so thanks to them for that. Thousands of people up and down the country are going to be going out on their office parties tonight, literally having a great time and hopefully getting home safely at the end. Well, I went out last night, and in Manchester last night there was several thousand people out doing exactly that last night as well. Followed a few people around, and we were particularly interested in finding out if women had thought about how they were getting home, what plans they had made, and how worried they were about the dangers that lie out there.
In the pub and club trade, they call tonight Black Friday, with thousands of office workers heading out on the town where they might normally be heading home.
I wouldn't dream of going out in the city centre with too much alcohol in me.
Even though I'm getting a lift home, my husband's going to pick me up. You've still got to walk out and wait. You know, there's people passing by, so, you know, you do need to think about what's around you as well.
In Manchester, the police will be out in force, and with their City Safe campaign now in its 4th year, their message is a positive one.
It's safe, it's secure, it's a great place to visit. Enjoy yourselves and enjoy yourselves in safety.
A lot of partygoers out last night had sensibly thought about their journeys home.
Got to be careful where you go, what you do, and who's around, you never know.
At the moment, I'm planning on going home on the tram with my friend, but then I'm not quite sure what I'm doing at the other end.
It's the night most firms have their office due. But have a think about the don'ts before you set off on yours.
So some sensible people out in Manchester last night, and they all did have a great time. We've had a look around the rest of the country to see what plans are in place to make sure that everything goes really with a bang tonight and everybody has a great time. Up in Newcastle, they've got a taxi marshal scheme which they're bringing in there to sort people out getting home in the queues. In Swansea, there's a poster campaign and also taxi marshals. In Glasgow, more traffic police are going to be on patrol tonight, and as we're here in Manchester, taxi marshals here, and also a scheme involving bus loaders to get you onto your queue. The police here have a City Safe campaign. We've got a couple of the posters up. They've got good messages in them. No thanks, no problem, no trouble. Small words make a big difference. And this one here, pace. A small decision for a big result. Pace your drinks and stay out of trouble. But I think the biggest advice for people, particularly women who are out tonight doing the office Beano, stay together, keep your mobile phones on, use black cabs, sit in the back and have a great night.
Matt, thanks very much. Jackie Hames from BBC's Crime Watch is here. You see, good morning. What Matt says there, yeah, absolutely fine, but black cabs are very expensive. And if somebody comes along and offers you a way to get home for half that fare, when you've actually spent probably most of your money at the Christmas party, whatever it is, it's easy to see why it happens.
Well, yeah, and in the cold light of day, Penny, let's face it, if someone said to you or any other woman, would you wander around the streets of any big city late at night on your own, having had a drink and get into a car with a stranger, you'd say no.
No.
But having had a drink, a good time at a party, and you're desperate to get home, your senses are dulled perhaps by alcohol, your instinct for self-preservation is not there.
And you're feeling
you
happy.
do. Yeah,
feeling happy
exactly.
and feeling joyful, and you get into a car, and then that's what happens.
We do things that perhaps we wouldn't do in the, when we're sober in the cold light of day. So that's why you have to think ahead. You have to sit down. You wouldn't go out and leave your house with the front door open. So why leave yourself vulnerable late at night?
So what would you suggest then? What are your big tips for trying to stay safe?
I think it's certainly, as was said on that film there, things like making sure you've got your mobile phone, it's got credit on it. You've got cab companies that you've used before already in the system, so you can just click onto cab and it'll ring.
Although, of course, often at busy times of the night they say, we can get out to you in an hour and a half, which isn't when you want to go home.
No, exactly. And let's face it, people are reluctant also to pre-book for that reason because they're having a fantastic time and they don't want to go home when the cab turns up and starts knocking on the door. So there are going to be times when you suddenly find yourself in the middle of a city centre, perhaps trying to get home late at night. And I would suggest that you perhaps ring someone at least who is at home, tell them where you are, and perhaps even try and get them to ring a cab for you if possible. Try and stay with friends. Don't go on your own. Stay, if you're in a venue like a nightclub, stay there, and wait, if you've got to wait for an hour and a half.
And of course there's always that problem as well about the fact that you can get two of you into a car, can go home, and then one of you gets dropped off, and then one of you's on your own again. So maybe arrange to stay with a friend, so there's always two of you.
Yeah, and get the name and address of the driver if you're not sure, if you're feeling a bit uncomfortable, and even ring that person at home and say, have a word with the driver. And any minicab driver worth his salt would not mind that at all.
Now, we've had a number of adverts warning women not to get into illegal cars. Local authorities trying to clamp down on illegal minicabs. How much of a problem is it?
Well, it clearly is a major problem. Certainly in the Metropolitan Police area, there's been a lot done, and they've reduced, I think, the number of stranger attack assaults from something like 18 a month to 10 a month, and that's still 10 too many, obviously. And a lot of pressure has been put on to clean up the minicab system, hence the fact that we now have licensed ones. That pressure has got to keep going to make sure they vet drivers and they know the insurance is kept up to date, and you know who's you're getting in. You can trust that you're getting into a car with a driver who's going to take you home safely.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jackie.
Worth bearing in mind, if you get in one of those unlicensed cabs, it's quite possible that you won't have any insurance. Neither the driver has insurance to drive you as a passenger, and you won't be covered yourself, just irrespective of what other cover you've got. I'd love to know how you're getting home tonight from your office party. Text us at the usual place, 81189, or email us, as thousands of you do every day.
Now let's get the weather with Andrea.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello. Now, of course, the word's on everyone's lips. It's everyone's lips. Easy to say. It's about a week away, Christmas. Everyone wants to know if we're going to see a white Christmas. Now, take a look at this bird here. You might be wondering what this has got to do with Christmas, but apparently the early arrival of this particular type of swan, it's called a Beswick swan, or a Beswick swan, or a Bethwick swan, depending on how you pronounce it, or what time of day it is. If it arrives early in the UK, it means that we're going to be seeing a white Christmas if it arrives before the 20th of December, and it has. It's arrived in a sanctuary in Gloucestershire. So, what are the odds on of a white Christmas? These are the odds as we see them. Scattered across the country. I have to say, not a betting person myself, so not a clue what this means, but if you are, and this makes any sense to you, these are the odds for a white Christmas. I don't know if that's any good or not, but what I can tell you, let's take a look at our meteorological graphics, shall we say. These are what the Met Office is saying in terms of a white Christmas. We've got an 85% chance of seeing a bit of a wet one, if you like. We're expecting to see some mild winds coming in from the west. That's basically going to bring windy conditions, wet conditions, but there's a 15% chance that if the winds come from the east, we could well be seeing a cold, crisp, and times, perhaps if we're lucky, a white Christmas. There we go. Let's move on. For today. We've already got a little bit of the white stuff over the far north of the country, over the Northern Isles, the Northern Highlands, a little bit windy here as well. Some sunshine across southern parts of Scotland, cloudy elsewhere with grey skies and some light drizzle. The snow will continue to push its way southwards across Scotland through today. It will be drier and brighter across central western Scotland, although it will be cold. Temperatures will turn colder through today as well, so don't be fooled as you walk out the door. We will see some of those showers just creeping down the eastern side of Britain through today. Generally speaking, as I say, it's going to be dry, bright and cold if you're heading out and about. One or two showers just around the fringes of Wales. Generally speaking, though, across the Midlands, dry, bright. Similar story for East Anglia. Maybe one or two showers just hugging the coast. As we move into the southeast, again, a cold and bright afternoon. Highs are between 7 and 8 degrees. And this is what we've got in store for the southwest. Maybe a little bit milder, but also a bit grayer. Here's your summary.
For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, gm.tv, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
Good morning, it's 6:32, Thursday, the 16th of December.
You're watching the News Hour here on GMTV. In the next half hour, an end-of-term report for Tony Blair. Is it must do better?
And has Kong bombed? We report from the United States where the £200 million film King Kong isn't doing so well at the box office.
First, our top story this morning. It might already affect one of your loved ones and could, in the future, ruin your life. According to new research, 750,000 people in this country suffer from dementia, and worldwide the numbers are doubling every 20 years. Lucy MacDonald has this.
Experts call the illness a ticking time bomb. The study by dementia charity Alzheimer's Disease International says every 7 seconds a new case of dementia arises. The report estimates that across the globe, 24.3 million people suffer, 750,000 in the UK. By 2040, it's predicted that will rise to 1.2 million, or 81 million worldwide.
Dementia can affect anybody, you or I, Ronald Reagan, anybody's grandma, anybody's mum. Stigma is a real problem, and I feel that people like Ronald Reagan and like Carol Thatcher talking about her mother having a diagnosis is so important, because it really encourages people to come forward and gain access to an improved quality of life.
Dementia is a progressive degenerative brain disorder that affects memory, thinking and behaviour. The most common form is Alzheimer's, which affects 1 in 5 people over 80. Experts say governments must start to plan policy and allocate resources to cope with the predicted increase.
That report from Lucy MacDonald.
27 minutes to 7. Let's get over to Arouge now at the news desk.
Thank you, Penny. Good morning. Women are being told to make sure they don't get into unlicensed cabs after their Christmas dues. Tonight's one of the busiest party nights of the year, with pubs and clubs full of festive revellers. But women, especially if they've had a few drinks, are being told to make sure they travel in legitimate taxis and get home safely. George Bush has finally agreed to support a law banning the torture of prisoners by soldiers and the CIA. He's bowed to pressure after a series of abuse scandals. US soldiers have been heavily criticised for their conduct at Iraq's Abu Ghraib prison and at Guantanamo Bay. There have also been reports the CIA has run secret prisons abroad to hold terrorism suspects. Tony Blair begins the tough talking in Brussels today as he tries to salvage a European budget deal. Fellow EU leaders are demanding the UK surrender more of its annual rebate, but Mr Blair's worked hard to find a way forward and hopes to end his presidency of the EU with a solution. 3 environmental groups who are trying to protect polar bears are suing the United States government. They say the animals could be extinct within our lifetime unless action is taken. They say the government must curb emissions of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, which are causing global warming and melting sea ice in the Arctic. A passenger plane has been forced to make an emergency landing on a tropical island. The Venezuela state airline was taken off from the capital, Caracas, but got into problems with its landing gear. Firefighters sprayed foam across the runway before the plane landed safely on its belly at Margarita Island. Now, we're expected to gobble up about 10 million turkeys this Christmas. Butchers have been inundated with orders for the festive season and are bracing themselves for a last-minute rush. It seems despite other meats becoming popular, the traditional turkey roast is still the nation's Christmas #1. And finally, it was Sir Trevor McDonald's final and finally last night. The broadcasting legend bowed out of his usual slot as anchor of the late-night ITV news with a simple message of thanks to the viewers. However, the 66-year-old says he has no plans to quit broadcasting completely. It's now 6:36. I'm back at 7 o'clock now. It's over to Penny and John.
Thank you very much, Arouge, and why should he? Still going strong.
That's good. That's good night from him.
That's good night from him.
Yeah, just before we go on, by the way, I just found this wonderful story in the paper about President Bush talking about his iPod, trying to prove how cool he is. He talks about Dan McLean, an American Pie song. Obviously Don
yeah.
McLean, and then he talks about how he likes to do the the shuffle on the iPod. I get the shuffle and then I shuffle the shuffle.
Show them the headline. It's a good headline. The iCloud.
Yeah, moving on.
It's easy to mock.
Competition time, your last chance this week to bag £10,000 before the end of the show.
Yeah, Cheggers has the details.
We're giving you the chance to win £10,000 in time for Christmas for you to spend on whatever you like, courtesy of High Life Breaks. For your chance to win, here's the question you need to answer. Which band had a hit with Merry Christmas Everybody? A, S Club 7, B, Slade, or C, Supertramp?
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149. Or you can enter via the website.
Sadly, as my mum said yesterday, it's not going to be a white Christmas, it's going to reindeer. Lines close at 9 o'clock. The winner will be revealed in Entertainment Today.
I'd like to think they get better, but they don't. Here's what's happening where you are.
Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News from ITV Granada. Police have launched a murder investigation after a man's body was found in a shop in Manchester. He was discovered in the Spanish wine store in Old Trafford last night. 2 men will be sentenced later for the murder of a pensioner in Manchester. 71-year-old Augustine Majumezia died of head injuries after being robbed in his flat in Miles Platting. 38-year-old David Flynn and 34-year-old John Crilly have been found guilty of his murder. Concerns mounting for the safety of a Merseyside man as his family haven't heard from him for a month. 54-year-old Bernard Cook was said to be under extreme pressure when he disappeared. Jennifer Humphreys reports.
Bernard Cook has everything to live for, a high-powered job, a prestigious home and a loving family. But they haven't heard from him for a month.
I did know that he had an overwhelming workload and therefore perhaps was quieter than usual. But nothing on that morning was any different to any other morning.
On the 16th of November, the Port of Liverpool executive sent his wife an email from work, then left his dockside office in a company car, captured here on CCTV footage. His family refused to consider the worst and are urging him to come home.
Football, and Liverpool and Bolton will hear today who they're playing in the knockout stages of the Champions League and UEFA Cup. Bolton Wanderers fan Paddy McGuinness is already hoping for a fair draw.
People were saying, I was talking to someone earlier and they were on about Roma and that, and I went, oh no. But I think we do better against bigger teams. We always seem to do in the league, like Manchester United and Liverpool. And
Take that, fans have another chance today to get hold of tickets for their reunion tour. Thousands queued overnight earlier this month to get their hands on tickets for their concert at the MEN Arena, but now more dates have been added at the City of Manchester Stadium. And if you want a chance to win tickets to see the band, keep watching. In this golden envelope are a pair of front row seats, and we'll be giving them away on Granada Reports tonight. So good luck with that. We'll be back at 7:05. Time now for a look at the region's weather.
Damaged in winter. Rescued by Pantene Pro V Winter Rescue. Sponsors of GMTV Weather.
A cloudy start with some light rain. This afternoon will be much brighter and drier with some sunshine. Temperatures reaching 8 Celsius, 46 Fahrenheit, but it will feel cold in the northwest wind.
let's have a quick look at the front pages of the newspapers, and a story on the front page of the Times saying that some of the country's most successful law firms, which grew rich by
ripping off miners, basically.
yes, exactly. Exploiting is the word I was looking for,
Well,
John.
the Minister's word is outrageously taking money. I call it nicking 50 million quid. It's a great bitch for the Times, that story. Great campaign.
That they slice from their clients' compensation. And The Independent, the Cullingfields mass slaughter plan for badgers provoking an outcry. That is a nationwide slaughter. Animal groups, in fact, denying that the cull will ease the TB crisis. I don't know about you, but I think that's appalling. They still haven't proved that, well, of course, farmers... It's farmers versus, virtually farmers versus animal rights activists anyway. The Guardian, go ahead for first full face transplants. And the Daily Telegraph from Iraq, Day the ballot beat the bombers.
Daily Mail picks up on that horrifying story about the psychopathic thug known as the Devil's Child, who was convicted of murdering the banker, Mr. Monkton, who'd been released early from jail. The Sun has an interesting story, headline, Blitzkrieg, saying that, in an odd sort of twist of history, German tanks are going to protect English football fans during the World Cup. And the Daily Express says council taxes are going to double. They also say that the arrival of the Buick Swan on our shores from the Arctic means we're going to have a white Christmas. We're not so sure, as we indicated
a
while.
A brown Christmas.
We are indeed.
Brown Christmas.
And finally, Daily Mirror concentrates on the arrest of the comedian Chris Langham. That's their front page story there.
Now, and going inside the papers, a new poll in the Telegraph will make bitter reading for an already beleaguered Tony Blair, because voters now have him on level pegging with the new Tory leader David Cameron, and he's only been in the job for 10 days. Talking to Andrew Pearce of the Times in just a moment for his end-of-term report. First, this from Sue Jameson.
Tony Blair's reasons to be cheerful are thinner on the ground this Christmas than ever before. His mince pies will taste a lot better than his first ever defeat last month as Prime Minister, when Labour rebels succeeded in rejecting plans to hold terror suspects up to 90 days without charge. A majority of 66 overturned overnight. And those same rebels, perhaps scenting blood, don't like the look of the PM's education reforms either. Tony Blair wants every secondary school to be independent. His growing critics say the most vulnerable will suffer in the shake-up. And it's not as though he can cross the channel to forget his woes. As Mr Blair nears the end of his EU presidency, his mission impossible to reform the budget is not looking good.
It's going to be very tough and very difficult. I think it's as well to be frank about that right at the outset. And it hangs very much in the balance.
The wound is there. Here's the salt. The young, energetic new Tory leader David Cameron already taking enough leaves out of Tony Blair's book to make it his own.
What we're saying to people is there is a choice, and I think people want a choice. They feel badly let down. They've had a Labour government that's talked and talked but hasn't acted on the things that they care about.
The new year will bring key votes on education, health and welfare, all of which could turn nasty. Just where are those tidings of comfort and joy?
Well, Andrew Pearce of the Times is here. Good morning.
Morning.
So there you are, you're Tony Blair's headmaster. You've got to mark him up. What is it, B minus, C plus?
C plus at best and must do better. It's remarkable, really, considering only 6-7 months ago the Prime Minister led Labour to its third consecutive election victory. Historic, unprecedented. It was May. 6-7 months ago.
I think I'm losing my... I thought it was last year.
No, so already... and
Seems so long ago.
It's remarkable, Penny, we're having this conversation, because actually he should be going into Christmas with the adulation and support of Labour MPs and activists for delivering that third victory, but he's going into Christmas wondering how much longer he can last.
Yeah, because we've got this, the EU rebate going
well,
on.
That's going horribly wrong today.
That's all going horribly wrong. Then we've had the terrorism bill, had that knocked about.
First defeat in the Commons for a sitting government for 26 years.
Yep, education reforms.
They're going to go...
Under threat. And then he's got that maths swat at number 11, snapping at his heels.
Gordon is literally banging on the partition wall saying, when will you go? I want to be Prime Minister, it's my turn. You've said you're going to stand down. And that's part of the problem for Blair, you see. He said before the election, I won't do it'll be a third term and I'm gone. So Labour MPs, Brown and his supporters saying, when do you mean? He cannot go to a full term. Is it next year or the year after?
And of course he was sort of sitting pretty while Michael Howard was there, but now he's got the young pretender.
The young pretender, and the polls already that I think the Tories are now have edged ahead of Labour for only the third time since 1992. You have to put it in perspective though, Penny. At the same time in the cycle when Blair became leader, 2 weeks after Blair became leader, he was 34 points ahead of John Major. So Cameron's got a lot of work to do because he's level pegging with Blair and the Tory party is only 2 points ahead. So it's all about perspective, but Cameron will have the best Christmas of all three party leaders, because we haven't even touched on Charles Kennedy. He's
Shall
had
we
a
just touch on
terrible
it?
Christmas.
Shall we just
Shall
touch on that
briefly?
now? Yes.
Cheers to Charles. He's not going to survive. He may have got a vote of confidence from his MPs the other day, but I suspect he will be gone by the summer, if not Easter.
To be replaced by?
Probably Min Campbell, who's the very distinguished Deputy Leader, shadow foreign spokesman, a man who wishes he'd stood against Charles Kennedy in 1999 but didn't. He looks like a Tory, sounds like a Tory, but he's a Liberal Democrat, and he will be a threat to the Conservatives in the way that Mr Kennedy isn't. He's only 44, but already he looks much more old-fashioned and much more out of date
So
than
we have
young
three
David.
parties that have all sort of like leached over to the right, really. So
Yeah, and it makes it very interesting for all of us.
So, finally, Christmas present to cheer up Mr Blair. What would you give him?
I'd buy him a lame duck, because that's exactly what sort of Prime Minister he's become.
Andrew Pierce, thank you very much.
OK, time is 14 minutes to 7. You're watching the News Hour here on GMTV. Our next guest is getting the ultimate Christmas present this year, a gift of life, literally. And it comes from her best friend. Let's go live to Telford now and talk to Saroj and to Dorothy. Saroj on the left. Hello, Saroj, and hello to you, Dorothy. Saroj, would you first of all explain what it is that Dorothy's giving you?
She's giving one of her kidneys over to me this weekend coming.
Which is a fantastic gift.
Donating a kidney.
And fingers crossed all goes well. What difference will that make to you, Saroj?
It'll give me a new lease of life because my lifestyle at the moment has been reduced to ill health and to go on a dialysis machine.
Now then, Dorothy, how did this all come about? Because you're friends and I think you did work together at one stage. You were aware of Saroj's condition, weren't you?
Yes, yes.
But am I right in thinking, Dorothy, that you thought it wasn't possible for you to do this initially?
Yes, initially Saroj was told she needed Asian-to-Asian match. And I offered my kidney, but we thought we couldn't do it then.
And that turned out to be
last year.
And that turned out to be false information?
Well, yes, it was, yes.
So what was the incident, what was the moment you realised this could happen?
Last year I decided to go ahead and try, because if you don't try, you don't know. And that I started last September.
OK. So at that time, I think, Saroj, you were having to do your dialysis manually, is that right?
I started off manually and then I was given a home choice machine to enable me to have a normal life as much as possible, because I work full-time. And I need to go on all night to clear my body toxins.
Yeah.
So it's quite a lengthy procedure.
I'll bet it is. I'll bet it is. And did you think it wasn't possible for a white person to donate their kidney to you in this way?
Well, I think it's the assumption or the presumption that that it ought to be from the same culture, and that's why it was dismissed at the beginning, until Dorothy was there one evening and she found out that I was on my machine and the machine broke down. And there was such a chaos that evening. I think it set the seed in Dot's mind that this is no way to live, really. And that's when the ball got rolling last September.
It's very generous of her, and it means that the two of you, both of you, will be in hospital for Christmas, won't you?
That's right, yes. Yeah. Yes, we'll be celebrating it together.
You don't mind that?
It'll be wonderful.
You don't mind
no,
that? I mean, the great thing about this is that you're not just friends, but her kidney is a match for you, because the odds on that are pretty long, I would have thought.
Well, it's absolutely marvellous, because it's unusual. That's why we want to raise this awareness through the media, that ethnic minorities don't donate as much as they could. I think because this assumption is around that it ought to be between Asian and Asian and white to white. And this is the idea that we've come along to try and raise this awareness.
Well, you're doing very well.
It is possible.
Absolutely. And
Thank you.
I hope... no problem, our pleasure. And I do hope the message is received loud and clear, because you're absolutely right. For reasons we don't fully understand, members of your community don't donate as often as others. I wonder why that is,
That's right. I think it's again, I think it's a lot to do with the assumptions and a lot about fear and not knowing that it is possible to give further life after the person's gone, or even whilst living. Yeah. I think there's a lot of fear around all this.
I'm sure.
And yet it's such a gift.
It is indeed. It's a tremendous gift, and you couldn't ask more from a friend and neighbour. So, Dorothy, well done. Thank you very much indeed on behalf of Saroj and everyone watching this programme. I'm sure they all think you're a real heroine there. And all the very best. We'll have our fingers crossed for you, and you must come back on the programme after Christmas to tell us how it all went. Will you do that?
That'd be nice, thank you.
Lovely.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, be lovely, yes, thanks.
Well, enjoy your Christmas in hospital, and for more details on organ donation, phone the NHS Organ Donor Register on the number on your screen now. You can see it there, 0845 606 0400.
Now, King Bomb, it's been described as at the box office over in the States for the giant blockbuster's opening night, which had hoped to ape Lord of the Rings. So, Carla, why has it all gone so King Kong?
Well, you know what, Penny, I guess with director Peter Jackson at the helm, I think everyone thought that King Kong would ride high in the coattails of Lord of the Rings. Not so. Very disappointing. Reviews have been very, very good, though.
I know, it's interesting, isn't it? Mind you, I went to see Narnia the other day.
I knew you were going to see that.
How fantastic was that? And that apparently was the biggest...
Brilliant.
I think it was the biggest Disney opening, the most money that they'd ever taken, I think, in an opening weekend. Anyway, this film, King Kong, has been blamed by the leading woman for actually ruining her love life. Or private life.
That's right. Yeah, well, Kong's love interest in the movie is Naomi Watts, and she has said that making the movie has destroyed her private life. She said that she wanted to start a family, but her personal life has suffered enough, and she regrets not having children before she started her career. But you know what, Penny, as we know, it's tough for women. It's a juggling act. I mean, I admire any woman who has a full-time career and has children. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how they do it either. Now, Jennifer Aniston, Hollywood premiere.
Yeah, the Hollywood premiere, I think she was very overwhelmed because the amount of press that were there, it was incredible. About 100 members of the press. So I think she was a bit kind of taken aback. It was for a new movie, Rumour Has It, about a family who are based on the Robinsons from The Graduate. She wasn't particularly keen on talking to too many people. I think she knew that they were not all there to ask her about the movie. I think they had other things on their minds. But I did manage to get a little word in with her about what her Christmas plans were. And you know what, Penny, sometimes less is more. She did also manage to give away that she couldn't wait for this horrendous year for her to be over. I just want to know what you're doing for Christmas, Jennifer. How you plan?
I'm staying very quiet and hanging out with family and friends.
Yeah. What if you had one Christmas wish, what would it be, New Year's wish?
For 206 to come sooner.
And Kevin Costner's in that as well, is he, I assume?
Kevin Costner is in that, and so is Shirley MacLaine, but neither of them were there at the premiere. Kevin Costner cannot stand any kind of press, and Shirley MacLaine was stuck in New Mexico in the snow, so she wouldn't have been too happy about that.
Just very briefly, Nicole Kidman, engaged or not?
Well, her representative has not denied it. Her representative has denied that she's pregnant. She has said, I categorically can say that she is 100% not pregnant. So obviously those pictures we saw of her were a bit of bloat. Keith Urban, of course, that's a country singer who she's rumoured to be engaged to. She didn't deny this. She denied the pregnancy. She did not deny the engagement. So watch this space, Penelope.
Oh, thank you very much, Carla.
Big sparkler on her wedding finger.
Yep, thank you very much. I'm still sort of a bit of bloat. What a horrible word. It sounds like bloater. Now, that's it from the news hour. Coming up in GMTV today, X Factor Excitement as the final looms.
Oh, you're staying on to do the other bit, aren't you?
I am staying on to do the main programme.
Okay. After 8 o'clock, the other bit I call it, Britain's worst dancer, crowned today.
But not John Stapleton. He's not in the competition. Here's the weather with Andrea.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Topps Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello there. Now, what everyone wants to know is, where's the weather gone? Is it going to be a white Christmas? Have a look at this. Now, these are the odds on for a white Christmas any minute now. This is what's good. The best odds at the moment are looking like being Aberdeen. So I'm told, not a clue what these figures actually mean. But if you are a betting person, these are the odds for snow around the country. Now, cut the music, because there's also another odds-on thing that could affect our white Christmas. Take a look at this. This is a bird. You might be wondering what a swan's got to do with white Christmas, but apparently it's called a Bezic swan. And they come over from Siberia, and apparently if they come over before the 20th of December, then we're likely to get a white Christmas. And they've been spotted in Gloucestershire, so who knows Now, let's get back to the scientific part. This is what the meteorologists think is going to be the percentages, shall we say, rather than odds of a white Christmas. 85% chance of just seeing a bit of a wet old wipeout, which is kind of normal. That means that the wind's coming from the west. It will be wet, it will be a little bit windy, but there's a 15% chance of seeing the winds change and come from an easterly direction, and that means we could see a chance of snow. Right, today we're already seeing snow. We've got snow up across the Northern Isles, far north of Scotland, brighter skies to the south of Scotland, north of England, a little bit grey elsewhere. This is what we've got in store for this afternoon. For Scotland, we'll see that snow filtering down across the Northern Highlands, pushing in eventually across into Aberdeenshire. Central, west and southern Scotland, you've got a bright day ahead of you, but very cold. Temperatures will start to pull back as we go into today. Similar story as we move away further south, around the Borders region. Could see those showers just creeping down the eastern side of Britain today, and it could turn a little bit wintry. Not a bad afternoon expected for Northern Ireland. A cold day expected, but bright for central parts of England, also through Wales. Maybe one or two showers hanging on to East Anglia. This is what we've got in store for the southeast. Cold and bright. Remember to wrap up if you're heading out for your Christmas party tonight. And it's a similar story too for the southwest. Lizzie Summary.
For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, gm.tv, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
Staying safe during the party season. Do you know how you're getting home tonight?
At the moment, I'm planning on going home on the tram with my friend, but then I'm not quite sure what I'm doing at the other end.
Good morning. You're watching GMTV today.
Almost 7 o'clock, Friday the 16th of December 2005.
So it's one of the biggest party nights of the year tonight, but do you know how you're getting home safely? We're going to be finding out how to make sure you don't have any more than a hangover to worry about come Saturday morning.
Yeah, lots of texts and emails. Going to be reading out a few of those a bit later on. On a lighter note, I am so looking forward to our Christmas party. John Stapleton has his friction-free dancing pants on, but his performance will be as nothing compared to the grand finale in our search for Britain's worst dancer.
I've got no idea what that means. Anyway, we are here. It's the Snow Peak Summit of Britain's Worst Dancer, the finale, the dance-off. Here they are. Here are our brave contestants, all ready for the dance-off. Coming up later in the programme, we've got our judges here, Len and Arlene. They've been on some other dance programme on some other channel. Got the family here. It's all coming up. Voting details in just a minute. And I can tell you what, the smell of excitement is thick in the air.
I think it's actually probably the smell of mothballs from that suit of yours,
could be.
Maggie.
So you think he got dressed up? You think he got dressed? You've just been working the door somewhere late last night, haven't you? Which you just come in.
Stapleton's. I don't know what it is. It's a bit damp, actually.
OK. We surely can't wait for the Britain's Worst Dance, which we're going to be conducting a little bit later on. And ahead of this weekend's other big finals, the X Factor, which is happening on Saturday. Brenda Edwards, she went last weekend, but she's going to be here with us talking about her predictions for tomorrow night.
And looking at some of the best of this weekend's television, including this lot. Who are they?
I thought Richard was going to snog Kate then, again.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, the time's just gone 7 o'clock, so let's get the news from Aruj.
Thank you, Ben. Good morning. The headlines. Crisis in care, a dramatic rise in the number of people suffering from dementia. Saving the polar bear, how campaigners are taking the United States government to court. And how we're voting for Turkey 10 million times this Christmas. It might already affect one of your loved ones and could in the future ruin your life. According to new research, 750,000 people in this country suffer from dementia, and worldwide the numbers are doubling every 20 years. Lucy McDonald reports.
Experts call the illness a ticking time bomb. The study by dementia charity Alzheimer's Disease International says every 7 seconds a new case of dementia arises. The report estimates that across the globe, 24.3 million people suffer. 750,000 in the UK. By 2040, it's predicted that will rise to 1.2 million, or 81 million worldwide.
Dementia can affect anybody, you or I, Ronald Reagan, anybody's grandma, anybody's mum. Stigma is a real problem, and I feel that people like Ronald Reagan and like Carol Thatcher talking about her mother having a diagnosis is so important, because it really encourages people to come forward and gain access to an improved quality of life.
Dementia is a progressive, degenerative brain disorder that affects memory, thinking and behaviour. The most common form is Alzheimer's, which affects 1 in 5 people over 80. Experts say governments must start to plan policy and allocate resources to cope with the predicted increase.
Women are being told to make sure they don't get into unlicensed cabs after their Christmas dues. Tonight's one of the busiest party nights of the year, with pubs and clubs full of festive revellers. But women, especially if they've had a few drinks, are being told to make sure they travel in legitimate taxis and get home safely. We spoke to some party goers in Manchester last night.
If you've got all your friends around you, that's really good, but, you know, sometimes you can end up on your own. You've had too much to drink, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know who's going to pick you up.
We're interested in how much planning you've thought about how to get home.
Do you know what? We haven't thought about it.
To be honest, there is no thought in how to get home.
You hear so many stories about, like, stuff happening in taxis that you have to be so careful now, so it's always a big thing when we go out to plan how everyone's getting home.
And we'll have more on that story shortly. 3 environmental groups who are trying to protect polar bears are suing the United States government. They say the animals could be extinct within our lifetime unless action is taken. They say the government must curb emissions of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, which are causing global warming and melting sea ice in the Arctic. Did you know we're getting through about 26 million turkeys every year, and nearly half of those are gobbled up at Christmas? And although we're getting more discerning about our type of turkey, they're still a very popular bird, as Marcella Whittingdale reports.
It's their busiest time of the year, and with Christmas just around the corner, butchers are cramming their shelves with turkeys of all shapes and sizes.
It's been a bit turkey crazy. The phone's been ringing non-stop. People rushing in, panicking that they're not going to get their orders in on time.
For many, choosing and cooking their birds a seasonal ritual.
I think you've got to stuff a few things, you know, to keep it moist, like onions or lemons inside, I think helps.
Turkey with stuffing and bread sauce and potatoes to my brother, sister and father.
Compared to other meats, turkey's low fat and low calorie, so it's no wonder it's such a festive favourite. Us Brits get through about 10 million turkeys every Christmas. That means 9 out of 10 of us will be settling down for a traditional turkey roast. But of course we won't all have fresh turkeys. Some of us will choose frozen, and 5% of those who do will choose to defrost them in the garage or the garden shed. With so many turkeys on the menu this Christmas, one thing's for sure, we're going to need an awful lot of Brussels sprouts.
And finally, apparently you are what you sneeze. Body language experts say most of us have a very specific style of sneezing which matches our personalities. Nick Dixon reports.
According to body language experts, there are very distinctive types of sneeze action. The nice sneezer is a warm, friendly and relaxed person who will work hard to make friends but won't trouble you with an over-the-top sneeze. Enthusiastic sneezers are charismatic, lusty and powerful and show imagination with their sneezing. And the get-it-done sneezer, a quick and straightforward sneeze that shows you're efficient and uncomplicated. So if you've got the sniffles this Christmas, put a bit of personality into your sneezing. It's not to be sniffed at.
Which one are you? It's 6 minutes past 7. I'm back in half an hour. Now here's Penny and Ben.
Thank you very much, Rouge.
Love a good sneeze.
Yes.
Nothing
do you?
quite like it. Oh, how exciting and so annoying when people stop you just as you go, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Then they ask you a question, you go, oh, no, oh, it's gone now.
I can't stop if I've got to sneeze. And I'm quite a sort of an extrovert sneezer as well. I do make the most of it.
Talking about people who can't stop.
Our dancers, the worst dancer finalists, it's happening today. We're going to be meeting them properly later, but first of all, Richard McNee is here to explain how you can vote.
Yes, it's David Johnson, the Geordie dancer. To vote for David, text A to 84070. To vote for Laura Mellor from Chesterfield, a nurse, aged 22, text B to 84070. This man's an adult human and even has a job. Yes, it's Mick the roofer. To vote for him, text C to 84070. And if you think Billy Bevan is Britain's worst dancer, or just one of the most disturbing people you've ever seen, text D to 84070. Texts cost 25 pence plus usual costs, and of course you can also vote on the web.
I thought he had a certain sense of rhythm, and some of the dancers as well.
And not many clothes on.
Yes. Here's what's happening where you are.
Good morning, welcome to the Breakfast News from ITV Granada. 2 men will be sentenced later for the murder of a pensioner in Manchester. 71-year-old Augustine Majimezia died of head injuries after being robbed in his flat in Miles Platting. 38-year-old David Flynn and 34-year-old John Crilly have been found guilty of his murder. An investigation's underway into the death of a 12-year-old boy in Greater Manchester. The body of the pupil who attended Broadoak School in Partington was discovered by a family member at his home yesterday afternoon. There's no suggestion that there's any connection with the school. Concern is mounting for the safety of a Merseyside man, as his family haven't heard from him for a month. 54-year-old Bernard Cook was said to be under extreme pressure when he disappeared. Jennifer Humphreys reports.
Bernard Cook has everything to live for, a high-powered job, a prestigious home and a loving family. But they haven't heard from him for a month.
I did know that he had an overwhelming workload and therefore perhaps was quieter than usual. But nothing on that morning was any different to any other morning.
On the 16th of November, the Port of Liverpool executive sent his wife an email from work, then left his dockside office in a company car, captured here on CCTV footage. His family refused to consider the worst and are urging him to come home.
On to football, and Liverpool and Bolton will find out who they'll play in the knockout stages of their European competitions. Liverpool are in the last 16 of the Champions League, while Bolton are in the UEFA Cup. Take that, fans have another chance today to get hold of tickets for their reunion tour. Thousands queued overnight earlier this month to get their hands on tickets for their concert at the MEN Arena, which sold out within minutes. But now more dates have been added at the City of Manchester Stadium, which is also expected to sell out quickly. And if you want a chance to win tickets to see the band, keep watching. In this golden envelope are a pair of front row seats, and we'll be giving them away tonight on Granada Reports. That's it for now. I'll be back in an hour. Time now for a look at the region's weather.
Damaged in winter. Rescued by Pantene Pro V Winter Rescue. Sponsors of GMTV Weather.
A cloudy start with some light rain and drizzle. This afternoon, though, will be much drier and brighter, and there'll even be some sunshine. Temperatures reaching 8 Celsius, that's 46 degrees Fahrenheit, but it will feel cold in that northwest wind.
(7:10). It's the last weekend before Christmas. Today is being called Fuzzy Friday because of the huge number of parties and festive celebrations. The question is, though, how safe are you as you head home? We'll be talking about how to stay safe in just a moment. But first, Matt Arnold's had a heavy night in Manchester, haven't you, Matt?
Well, Penny, not too heavy. I think my Fuzzy Friday, probably like yours, might be tonight when we go out for our own company party, but not like everyone else in the country. Tonight really is the big night for the office Christmas party. All up and down the land, people are going to be going out after work, probably not going home straight away, but going straight on out to clubs and restaurants and bars to let their hair down, and after a year's hard work, why shouldn't they? But the worry is, how safe is it to get home and the various means of public transport that are available to you? I was out in Manchester last night, meeting up with some revellers. They were having a great time, but the question that we were asking, particularly of the women who were out, is how much had they planned about the end of their evening and planning that all-important journey home?
In the pub and club trade, they call tonight Black Friday, with thousands of office workers heading out on the town where they might normally be heading home.
I wouldn't dream of going out in the city centre with too much alcohol in me.
Even though I'm getting a lift home, my husband's going to pick me up. You've still got to walk out and wait. You know, there's people passing by, so, you know, you do need to think about what's around you as well.
In Manchester, the police will be out in force, and with their City Safe campaign now in its 4th year, their message is a positive one.
It's safe, it's secure, it's a great place to visit. Enjoy yourselves and enjoy yourselves in safety.
A lot of partygoers out last night had sensibly thought about their journeys home.
Got to be careful where you go, what you do, and who's around you.
At the moment, I'm planning on going home on the tram with my friend, but then I'm not quite sure what I'm doing at the other end.
It's the night most firms have their office due. But have a think about the don'ts before you set off on yours.
Well, the police here have got a campaign going, just got a few of the posters up, all with eminent good advice. I like perhaps the last one. Plan to go out to get home, stay with your friends and stay safe, and have a great Christmas party.
Thanks very much. Well, Jackie Hames from BBC's Crime Watch is here. Good morning. And I know you featured a horrible case this week on the programme.
Yes, it was absolutely appalling. A woman, much like the ladies you saw in Manchester last night, decided to get into a cab, or what purported to be a cab, was taken to an alleyway some distance from where she lived, where she was raped by 2 men. Just absolutely appalling, and unfortunately we don't want even one of those incidents to happen this Christmas.
It is very difficult though, isn't it? I mean, when you've had a few drinks, you know, you're not really thinking very straight, are you? And then somebody comes up and offers you what seems to be a fairly cheap way of getting home in a car. You don't have to stand waiting for a bus or trying to sort anything else out, and you just think, oh, it's only 10 minutes down the road, it'll be fine.
Absolutely, and let's face it, all our parents have probably hammered home to us, don't, you know, when you're a child, don't go off with strangers, don't get into a car with a stranger. And if you ask most women during the day in the cold light whether they would do that, they would say no, but add alcohol into the mix and a good party night out. And unfortunately, our sort of instincts for self-preservation and awareness of danger just go out the window.
And it doesn't seem that these ads that we have every year about not getting into illegal minicabs, I mean, they probably have some effect, but they're obviously not having enough of an effect.
Well, yeah, I would imagine that if you know, most of those women that we interviewed last night had it in the back of their minds, but it wasn't in the forefront of their minds, which is why you really need to keep together in a group if you can, at least, and then somebody hopefully will have the good sense to sort of try and be sensible about getting home.
Now, we've had lots of texts and emails, actually some really good suggestions, so thank you to Lynn of Gosport, Sandra from Ipswich, Sue Starkey from Bognor Regis, Elaine from Bolton and Bev in Swansea, and various other people who've said things, for example, arranged to be picked up by a friend's son who might need the extra cash. Wait for the guys at the outside, at the exit of a club to get you a car. That's another one. Female cab drivers, and of course there are female cab companies all over the shop. You can actually check that. Elaine from Bolton is the one who says take a picture of the taxi registration number and send it to a friend or text it.
Yeah, very
Another
good
idea. Yeah. What precautions would you say?
Well, if I mean, hopefully people will have planned ahead before they left home. If they haven't, which is, you know, as we heard on the film, there, you know, sometimes happens, you suddenly find yourself alone in the middle of a big city and you're not sure how you're going to get home. Try and go back to, if you've come from a club, I think someone's suggested there, stay there. A lot of clubs now are actually putting some little bit of space aside for people to wait for cabs. Go into a cab office rather than just pick one up off the street if you can. And if you feel that eventually that is the only way you're going to be able to do it, take the name and address of the driver, the index number, ring somebody up at home and say, I'm getting into this cab now.
Preferably somebody you know who's up.
Yes. Well, you know, it's a good idea to tell someone, if you're going out on, particularly on your own, where you're going to be tonight, so they can catch up with you.
Jackie Hames, thank you very much.
16 minutes past 7, the main headlines you're waking up to this morning. The number of people suffering from dementia will double over the next 20 years. The government has been told to make provision now. Campaigners in the United States are taking the government to court as they try to save the polar bear threatened by global warming. And today's weather, it's going to be a damp start in the south. Most places will be sunny, but it's going to get much colder with snow in northern Scotland.
Now, time to find out how you could set your Christmas off to a good start by winning £10,000.
Yep, let's catch up with Cheggers. All this week he's been in Lapland searching for Santa.
A very good morning to you. Yes, I am in Lapland, and this is it. Look, that's Santa's house, and this is where Santa lives. And I've got a... Hang on, is this a queue? Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to push past you if you don't mind. No, Santa knows me. He won't mind, I promise you. I'll see you in a minute. Look, fantastic Father Christmas.
Oh, hello,
so
Keith.
pleased to meet you. Give everyone at GMTV a big wave. Look, Santa Claus. The trouble I've had to find you. How's things going? It's been busy.
Well, not very busy for me, but the elves have been pretty busy.
Santa, look, I've been sent on a mission by the GMTV presenters with their Christmas wish list.
Ah.
Could you ponder on that?
Yes.
Well, I just have a little talk to the nation. Competition time, you could win £10,000. It could be a fantastic Christmas. We're giving you the chance to win £10,000 in time for Christmas for you to spend on whatever you like, courtesy of High Life Breaks. For your chance to win, here's the question you need to answer. Which band had a hit with Merry Christmas Everybody? A, S Club 7, B, Slade, or C, Supertramp?
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B, or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149.
Yeah, Fiona Phillips, yeah. If you can get her that she really does want that. And Ben Shepherd, well, I wouldn't worry about him. He's spoiled. He gets so much for Christmas, really. Good luck with the competition. Fantastic.
Well, is there something you would like, Keith?
Well, since I'm here, I've got to ask. I've got to whisper it to you, though. Is there any chance of...
Well, Keith, even Santa has his limitations on what he can do.
Oh.
I can't make you funny.
Oh. All right, well, thanks very much, Santa.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Aww.
He obviously hasn't been a good enough boy this year. That's what it is.
Does Santa never get any presents, or does he have to take the bits that are left over?
I imagine there's 1 or 2 leftovers for him each year. Those lines are going to close at 9 o'clock, and we'll reveal the winner in Entertainment Today later on.
Coming up, crunch time for Andy, Shane and Journey South on tomorrow's X Factor final. Very exciting. Last week's loser, Brenda, here with her verdict on the lineup. That's next.
Yeah, and before that, though, Jean-Christophe Novella with some recipes for a saucy Christmas.
Bread sauce can be tasteless sometimes. Let me show you a tip. Instead of using bread, use some brioche. Brioche is a sweetened version of bread. Get them sliced, put them in a pan with olive oil and a touch of honey. And caramelize on both sides. If you want even more flavors, use the juice from your turkey and add to it. Over there I've got some milk which has been infused with onions, garlic, bay leaf, cloves and a bit of salt. Bring it to the boils and then add it into your brioche gently until it's mushy. Mash it up together and serve it with your roast turkey. And if you want to make the perfect cranberry sauce, heat up a pan, add your cranberry fresh or frozen, add some sugar, boil it for 5 minutes, add your spices and let it infuse for a few hours.
This Christmas, when it has to be ready in a minute, Spa, sponsors of Christophe at Christmas.
Now then, she was the last lady standing on Saturday's X Factor, but that unfortunately wasn't enough to swing the votes for Brenda Edwards to secure her place in this week's final.
The last act through to the final is... Johnny South, congratulations. You'll be joining Andy and Shane at next Saturday.
And Brenda joins us now, as does Andrea, who's come in as well to join in. It's an amazing moment, that moment, isn't it, when everything builds up. And of course, I'm fortunate enough to be there as well. But what was going through your head when you stood on the stage and Kate hadn't called your name yet?
Please don't call my name. Please don't call my name.
Because you were smiling.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, had you in the back of your mind, you thinking, I think I'm going here?
Well, yeah. When Andy's name was called, you know, because we'd spoken about it, and it was just too good to be true that there'd be both of us in the final. So, you know, earlier that day we'd sort of said to each other, well, if your name's called, I know I'm going home. If my name's called, you know, you're going home. It was that sort of thing. So you could see by my face, it was like, you know, when she said Andy, I sort of went over to him and I says, you go and you win it, mate. You go and do it, you know. And I had to try and prepare myself because I knew that I had to sing again as well. So that
was
like,
the big thing. But I think that performance, certainly that performance that you pulled out right at the end was, I mean, I was there when Simon came up to you and said it was one of the most sensational performances he'd heard.
I don't know how I did it. I really don't, because I listened back to it and I could hear the quivering in my voice at the beginning. It's like, you're leaving.
Well, look, you were sensational on Saturday night, and unfortunately we've got a little bit of a clip, because if anybody missed it, you missed an absolutely cracking performance. Watch this. You manhandled a young man just a bit further down. I think he thought his luck was in there.
He looked a bit scared, if you ask me.
It's been the most incredible experience, hasn't it?
It's been fantastic. I've had a fantastic week, and my feet haven't touched the ground yet. I've been running here, doing this, doing that. Love it, absolutely love it.
At least you get your chance to do Christmas shopping now, put the tree up.
No, I still haven't done that yet either. It makes no difference whether I left last week or I leave on Saturday.
You still haven't got it done?
Still haven't done it, kids, I'm so sorry.
But unfortunately, you've still got a few days to do it, because I know that they'll be waiting. Tanisha's going to be there, expecting you to get some stuff.
Well, I've got a Christmas list, a whole A4 side of it. Yeah, brilliant.
Now, look, one of the things that I think everybody has sort of seen you do and looks up to you immensely for is this dramatic change that's been in you, in the weight loss and how fab you look. I think we've actually got a still store of how you looked before, when you started. It's not even before, that was when we were in LA on the left, and that's you from last Saturday's performance. The difference is amazing. What do you think when you look at that person on the left there?
I'm very happy that I met the X Factor, really, because it just woke me all up, inside and outside, you know, so it's a fantastic experience I will never forget.
Okay. Now look,
it's like that young man.
Yeah, exactly. We need you to give some predictions for tomorrow night, Brenda. Where do you think it's going to go, and how can you see it going?
I don't think it's going to go where everybody thinks it's going to go.
Because at the moment, Shane's the favourite, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
So you don't think that's going to happen?
Well, you know, I've just been speaking to so many people, and they're like, you know, but the favourite lost in Pop Idol, didn't actually come to win it, and you know, and there's some serious competition in this. And me being backstage with the guys, I know, you know, all of them are gunning for it.
Brenda, you're skirting the issue.
Andy's gunning for it. Journey South are gunning for it.
You're skirting the issue.
You should know me by now. Come on now. Don't you do that, naughty. Yeah. I really don't know. I would obviously love for Andy, being in the same camp, for him to go through. And Sharon, you know, she so deserves it as a mentor.
She does.
Well, my boy.
There he is.
You know.
Well, we're going to get to see them do their thing tomorrow night. It's only a few hours away before the X Factor final 2005. I'm going to see you later on in the X Factor. Yes. Look forward to seeing that. And I know you're nipping over to the other side as well to do some more. Keep up the great work. It's lovely to see you still looking so great, Brenda. It's lovely to have you with us.
Thank you.
Swans now. Andrea.
Thanks very much.
No, the swans are here. The swans from Siberia.
They are. The swans are coming. Now, if you're wondering what this has got to do with Christmas, these are called Berwick swans. And what you might like to know is apparently, it's kind of like a St. Swithin's thing. If they come to the UK for 20th of December, we could get a white Christmas. And they're spotted in Gloucestershire. So who knows? We could have a white Christmas. But, of course, the bookies have got in on this as well. Take a look at this graphic. This is how the bookies think the odds-on are for a white Christmas. Now, at the moment, Aberdeen is leading those odds at 7-2, or so I've been told by people backstage who I've been sort of pestering them, saying I have no idea what those numbers mean. Apparently, Aberdeen is looking most likely at the moment.
That's good odds, isn't it?
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Excellent. Moving on.
Moving on. Moving on is just me generally doing the weather. So do you want me to do that?
Yeah.
All right, here you go.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Topps Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
OK, in terms of actual weather for this morning, as you can see, we've already got snow. I don't know if it's down to the swans or odds or what, but it is actually snowing at the moment up across the far north of Scotland, over the Northern Isles and Northern Highlands. Central and southern parts of Scotland, a beautiful, bright start to the day. We do have some cloud further south across England and Wales. A little bit of patchy drizzle here. It's a touch breezy today as well. For this afternoon, we will see the snow continuing to edge its way southwards, just creeping south into the Northern Highlands, again, maybe into Aberdeenshire. Central, southern, western parts of Scotland, a dry, bright but cold day expected for you. Similar story across the Borders region. If I just move out the way, you can see not a bad afternoon for Northern Ireland, for the Isle of Man. Maybe a little bit more cloudy here across this central strip. The Midlands, lovely afternoon for you. Bright sunshine, good sunny spells. Maybe seeing 1 or 2 showers just drifting onto the north coast of Norfolk. Lovely day expected as well for Wales. Again, it is going to turn cooler and fresher as we go through the day. So wrap up well, get ready for tonight if you're heading out to your Christmas party, because it's going to be cold by the time you're heading home. And then for the south and west, again, fine day, bits and pieces of cloud, but some sunshine as well. Easy summary.
For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, gm.tv, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
29 minutes to 8 still to come. We're going to be crowning Britain's worst dancer. Right now, though, let's get the news. Here's Arouge.
Thank you, Ben. Good morning. Women are being told to make sure they don't get into unlicensed cabs after their Christmas do. Tonight's one of the busiest party nights of the year, with pubs and clubs full of festive revellers. But women, especially if they've had a few drinks, are being told to make sure they travel in legitimate taxis and get home safely. The number of people with dementia is set to double every 20 years. It's estimated that 750,000 people suffer in Britain and 24 million worldwide. Experts who've published their findings in a medical journal today say the government must make care of patients a higher priority. Detectives investigating the shooting of 2 young people whose bodies were found in a field have revealed the couple had been in a relationship. 16-year-old Carol Lem and 20-year-old Lee Smith had recently split up. They were found in a countryside near Rotherham. Both had a single gunshot wound to the head. Police say one of them may have committed suicide. Tony Blair begins the tough talking in Brussels today as he tries to salvage the European budget deal. Fellow EU leaders are demanding the UK surrender more of its annual rebate. Mr Blair's worked hard to find a way forward and hopes to end his presidency with an EU solution. Mothers who've lost a baby through sudden infant death syndrome are more likely to have complicated future pregnancies. New research highlights problems including premature birth, which increases the risk of SIDS. It was already known this group of mothers is 5 times more likely to have a future baby die in the same way, but it wasn't known why. A passenger plane has been forced to make an emergency landing on a tropical island. The Venezuela state airline had taken off from the capital, Caracas, but got into problems with its landing gear. Firefighters sprayed foam across the runway before the plane landed safely on its belly at Margarita Island. Amazing escape. 3 campaign groups who are trying to protect polar bears are suing the United States government. They say the animals could be extinct within our lifetime unless action is taken. They say the government must curb emissions of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, which are causing global warming and melting sea ice in the Arctic. From polar bears to penguins, and they've been getting a bit of plump at the zoo in Japan, so they've been put on a strict exercise regime. Keepers are taking them for long walks in the snow to stop them getting obese. They say that just like humans, the birds tend to put on weight in the winter. It's now 7:34, back at 8 o'clock. Now it's over to Penny and Ben.
Thanks very much. When we come back, our celebrity judges are bursting to give their professional verdicts on our worst dancers.
Yes, it's something not to be missed. We'll see you in a bit. 21 minutes to 8. The place is GMTV. Don't forget those 2 things. There are 2 big finals on Saturday night, the X Factor final and Strictly Come Dancing, but they don't compare to the tension in the studio right now, because today is Dance Off Friday. You're going to want to remember the time and the place. We have 4 finalists battling out for the title of Britain's Worst Dancer. It's up to you who wins. You can text or vote on the website. Here to give their opinions only are Strictly Come Dancing judges, Arlene Phillips and Leg Goodman. Good morning to you both. Thank you for coming. Arlene, if I could come to you first, what are you going to be looking for today?
I'm going to be looking for lack of rhythm, completely untoned body, flailing arms, and the stupidest moves one could ever imagine.
Excellent. And for you, Len, what is it particularly that makes a bad dancer?
Lack of coordination, no rhythm, poor posture, terrible footwork. These sort of things are what I'm looking for.
Excellent. And you're going to be offering scores, and the higher the score, the worse the dancer.
Absolutely.
OK. Well, someone who personifies all of those things you've just said is the host of this debacle, Mr. Richard Mackney. Hello, Richard.
Bad posture, no coordination, creasing.
A big suit.
Look at
Is
this.
that your dad's suit?
What is going on with this? I think it's my body. No, sorry, it must be the
Look,
shirt.
Tell the people what they're playing for.
Well, we've seen it all week. I think it's as good as it. Have you seen this?
I have seen. I've touched it.
Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The Britain's Worst Dancer trophy. There it is. The 2 left feet trophy. Currently being held together by a bit of tape. It does come off actually.
This sticky back plastic.
I mean, they can bang it on eBay. We have had this valued actually, and this is actually amazing. It's worth anything between 10 and 11 pence.
Excellent.
So that's amazing. However, the proper prize, because we're not that nasty, is the holiday. The 2-week holiday. So it's the proper prize. 2 weeks holiday. There it is. 2 weeks in Mexico. 5-star hotel.
Is that you,
all
Jake?
inclusive? That's a bit I like. All inclusive, courtesy of Direct Holidays. Am I the only one who's been enjoying that footage of the Mexicans? There?
Yes,
just typical sort of people you meet every day in Mexico. There.
So that's the holiday they're going to be going on if they win.
Yeah.
Well, how about we get it started? Who's up first?
OK, first contestant. Let's see him. Here he is. Oh, he's a big favourite, of course. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, David Johnson, the Geordie dancer. He's 35 years old. He's from Durham. He works for a major retailer, and his recent dance in his local pub was so horrific that 12 people threw themselves out of the window, and 5 people committed Harry-Carry using pub cutlery. Seems a bit extreme. David, how are you?
Not too bad.
OK, a little bit nervous?
A wee bit.
You're a brave soldier, then?
Well, I've had a little bit of experience now, haven't I?
Of course you have. Of course you have. Limbering up, brave soldier, covered up his sponsorship. Well done to us there. Bit of tape, the same thing that holds this together. OK, the music we've chosen. He's the greatest dancer, Sister Sledge.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
OK, very appropriate. Let's start the music. You've got 20 seconds, David. Do your magic. There's the spin. OK, a bit more forward. There's the big high kick. There's the big high kick. There's the body popper. David, thank you very much indeed. OK, cut the music, David. Thank you very much indeed. That was truly awful.
David, stay there just for a minute. We're going to come to Arlene first. Arlene.
Well, I'm a little concerned because the caterpillars that you did there were rather good. And I'm afraid that, you know...
That's going to lower the score?
Is going to lower the score.
Len?
It was a bit uncontrolled.
Well, all my senses were mortified, to be honest, because, of course, there is a slight odour of BO wafting through the air, so
yes.
Not only was I visually impaired, but my nostrils
People can't really get that at home.
I must say, apart from the floor work, which was quite good, the rest of it was truly dreadful.
OK, well, let's have a quick look at your scores. What are you going to be giving our Geordie dancer, everybody?
I'm going to give him an 8, actually.
That's an 8, so that's really pretty bad.
I was giving him the 7. The
you
short
thought it was a little bit better than that?
Was,
the trousers were an absolute delight, actually.
Delight. You can never beat a high waist. That's 15 for our Geordie dance. Thank you very much, David.
Well done indeed. Off you go there, David.
Time for our second finalist. Richard, who's up next?
What a brave soldier. Contestant number 2, Laura Mellor, 22 years old, from Chesterfield. She's a nurse.
Hello, Laura.
Since her dance on GMTV on Tuesday, her family have disowned her. They now won't talk to her and pretend to be Portuguese. How are you, Laura? Right.
I'm fine, thanks.
Bit nervous?
Yeah, just a bit.
Brave soldier, brave soldier. The music we've got, You Make Me Feel Mighty Real by Sylvester. Play the music. You got 20 seconds. Laura, do your thing.
That's the way to start. With a one. Yeah. Ooh. Dealing some cards. Big box.
Okay, there's the double push. Yes, not a double push. There's that sort of elephant trunk thing. There's the double push. Oh, there's something. There's the sort of card. There's the dealing cards. There it is. Laura Mellor, thank you very much indeed. Kill the music. Thank you very much.
I've only ever seen moves like that in a casino in Vegas. Spectacular. Len, let's come to you first.
Oh, it was fabulous. I loved this.
The card shuffle.
The card shuffle, and then
the
giving them out. The thrusting of the hips.
I thought you'd like that, Len.
Absolutely rhythmic, fantastic.
Arlene?
A bit too rhythmic to be really bad, but the facials were so horrendous that
That's going to bring a score up.
absolutely raise the score.
OK, well, let's have a quick look at what you're going to mark Laura with, guys. If we come to you, Len.
For Laura.
I'm going to give her a 7. Actually.
A 7 for Laura.
Oh, and I'm going to give her an 8.
OK, that's 15
Ah.
again. So we've got the tie at the moment. Thank you very much. Laura, well done. Laura, everybody.
Well done, Laura, well done. Off you go there, Laura. Thanks very much indeed. Brave soldier.
Richard, who's next?
Contestant number 3. Yes, it's Mick Ward. He's 50 years old from Bexley Heath in Kent. He's a roofer. Since his dance on GMTV on Wednesday, apparently his partner Jackie has changed identity due to acute embarrassment. She now has a thick moustache and only responds to the name of Steve. How are you? How are you, Mick?
Yeah, all right, Richard.
Yeah?
Right.
Bit nervous?
When you're bad as me, you're never nervous.
You look like a brave soldier to me, much like the others. The music we turned on, an old classic, Rockin' All Over the World by The Crow.
Yeah, I'm a rocker myself, so...
OK. Got about 20 seconds, Mick. OK, off you go. Start the music. Off you go. Kick, bit of hopping, the double turn to the corner of the dance mat, going to all the corners, another twirl. There's the high kick, the something with the arms, looks like Morris dancing, another twirl. Absolutely appalling. Mick Ward, thank you very much.
Well
Stop
done,
the music.
Mick.
Stop the music.
Spectacular. Elbows and knees in the same move. Arlene.
That was horrendous. Not one redeeming feature. Chris Parker was even better than you.
That's praise indeed. That is praise indeed. Len?
It was truly, Mick. It was terrible. Honestly, there was nothing to compliment that performance. How you can work on a booth, God knows. It was absolutely...
OK, guys.
Having a tantrum.
Let's have a look at the scores then. What are your scores for
My
Mick?
score is definitely...
A 9, 2 9. That's 18.
Okay.
Mick, you've shot straight into lead. Thank you very much.
Well
if you'd
done
like
to
to
you,
take
sir.
your absence out of last, but no means least finalist, though.
OK, our last and least contestant, contestant number 4, Billy Bevan. Billy Bevan, dirty man, 29 years old, from Fareham in Hampshire, construction foreman. His dancing yesterday was so bad that there's been emergency legislation, and apparently after 6 p.m. today, he won't be allowed near any human beings for 5 years. How are you, Billy?
Nervous.
Are you? Of course you are, but you look like a brave soldier to me, Billy, are you?
No.
See what I mean about him? OK, the music we've chosen is Roll Over Beethoven by Chuck Berry. Are you ready? Yeah. OK, start the music. 20 seconds. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, no. Oh, dear, oh, dear. OK, sounds disgusting. Stop it, Billy, stop it. That's absolutely disgusting. I told him about that.
There's nothing subtle about it.
I told him Penny was in the studio. She'll be on you in about 2.4 seconds.
Like a marker pen. Arlene, would you vote Billy?
The most revolting performances of dance I've ever seen anywhere in my entire life. That was horrendous.
Cringing. Len, for you?
Well, I think he's got dyslexic hips or something, because it didn't seem to work at all. Actually, the bit on the floor, he reminded me a bit of Chuck Berry, actually.
Yes.
We're doing that goose thing.
Yeah, I think he just buckled with nerves, so that's what it was. OK, let's have your scores for Billy.
I'm afraid it has to be a 10.
He's got a big 10. He's got a big 10 from Arlene.
Too rhythmic.
Bit too rhythmic with the dyslexic hips. That's 17. Well done, Billy.
Billy Bevan, thank you very much indeed. Off you go
indeed,
there.
congratulations to all of our finalists. We're going to cross now to the lovely Penny Smith to look at the scores on the doors.
Oh, thank you very much, Ben. Yes, so to recap, the judges have awarded David 15 points. Laura has 15 points. Leading the field, Mick with 18 points, and Billy just a smidge behind at 17 points, which means, according to the judges, Mick Ward is our worst dancer. However, those scores are only a guideline because you at home decide the winner by voting for your favourite. To vote for David, text A to 84070. To vote for Laura, text B. If you want to vote for Mick's routines, text C to 84070. And last but not least, if you think that Billy is Britain's worst dancer, text D. Text D. Text cost 25 pence plus usual costs, and you can also vote on the web. You can vote until 8:20, and the winner will be revealed at 8:30. Billy there actually looking rather rhythmic as he shook his head there along to the trendy music, which is now finishing. 7:48 coming up on GMTV today. A few familiar faces revealing what they really get up to in their spare time.
Lotus First Pockets with technology. Sponsors of TV Pick of the Day.
What's on? It's Richard. What?
Morning. Big weekend. That's it. Brilliant.
Excellent.
Throw to the weather, Penny. Strictly Come Dancing, the final, of course. I'll be indoors for that. And the final of X Factor as well. Brenda robbed. Bless her heart.
She was great last week, wasn't she?
Absolutely fantastic. Money's on Shane, of course. I think the smart money because, you know, he gets the popular vote.
But the songs this week, and it all comes down to the songs.
And what, do you know what they're singing this week?
Andy's singing Oh Holy Night. And he's singing When a Man Loves a Woman, and he's singing Me and Mrs. Jones, which went down a storm in the series.
Look, we haven't got a lot of time, you know, Ben.
Actually, we're doing it later.
We're also talking about Strictly Come Dancing as well,
in
because it's Zoe,
Thursday as
Colin and Darren down to the wire as well.
I think Darren may slip
may,
under the wire.
He may indeed. Now,
Arlene's in the sun saying she reckons it's Zoe.
Right, yeah, exactly. Now, apparently you've wiped down your Christmas suit. You're at the party tonight.
Yes, I have. Yes, I'm borrowing John Stapleton's chaps, as always. We'll be first on the dance floor. Can't wait for that. And a dodgy Nissan Cherry Home with a magic tree swinging in front of my face, begging for them to put on Heart 106.2 with chips all down me. I can't wait. It's the same every year.
I was actually trying to link into Christmas Mania.
Oh, were you really? Oh, sorry,
yes.
I thought you were talking about our party tonight. Yeah, Christmas Mania. I can't apologise enough for this. The money, it's Christmas. I'm living hand to mouth. I've got 3 kids to support. Well, that's not me, is it?
No.
The only other person who's in the building is Andrew McLean. Thanks for coming in, darling. Everyone else is off games. Take a look at this clip and you'll understand why.
Oh,
no, this is just what we're doing in the weather. Have a look at this. This is us in action.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special.
How big is everyone's hair?
Exactly.
Was everybody wearing wigs or something?
I backcombed that.
Well,
Took about 3 weeks, yeah.
And did they hire people to come in and be snowboard fighters in the background? Or was there other members?
People posing as models, yes.
And that
yeah,
was-
it's all down to
and that was really Andrew's jumper, wasn't it?
I must just mention Nana Moon tonight. Oh, Alfie. Yeah, she's off.
Oh, no.
I know, and it's a cracker. You've got to tune in for that. Miss it at your
Coronation
peril.
Street.
And Coronation Street as well. Craig gets his lips around something at the buffet that he shouldn't. Yes, because you know Rosie's a vegetarian.
Sounds just like the Christmas party. Thanks very much, Richard.
Can't wait.
Let's get
Happy Christmas.
Andrea and the weather. Hopefully she won't be singing.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles. Brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Okay, absolutely no chance of me singing, that's for sure. What's really sad is that my hair looks kind of 80s today and it was unintentional and not ironic. Weather-wise, there you go, nothing happening weather-wise today. Yes, we have got some odds for Christmas. Let's get them started. We've got, this is the odds on for a white Christmas. Not a betting person myself, so not entirely sure what all these numbers mean, but I've been reliably informed that that means that Aberdeen looks like the best chance of seeing a white Christmas. Now, it's not all scientific. You might be wondering what these have got to do with Christmas. These are very beautiful Berwick swans. Now, they migrate from Siberia every year, and apparently if they arrive in the UK before the 20th of December, we're on for a white Christmas, and they've been spotted in Gloucestershire, so who knows? Now, in terms of the meteorologists, this is what we think is actually going to happen for Christmas. 85% chance of seeing the weather coming in from the west. That means wet and mild, maybe a bit windy. 15% chance, though, of the weather coming in from the east. The wind's changing direction, and what that means is we could see a touch of snow in places, but chances are it's more likely to be grey rather than white. Now then, for this morning, we do have some snow around. It has arrived across the Northern Isles of Scotland, up across the far north of Scotland. Central southern Scotland starting off dry, bright and crisp, some cloud across England and Wales, a touch breezy in places as well. For this afternoon, that snow will continue to edge its way southwards across Scotland, though staying dry, fine and bright across central and southern areas. Also western parts seeing a much better day than you've seen previously this week. Across the borders into Northern Ireland, bright and sunny, again cold. Could see 1 or 2 of those wintry showers just nudging down that east coast, maybe getting as far south as East Anglia. But generally speaking, you saw there a brief glimpse, so just move out the way, across Wales. The Midlands, looking good today. I think it's going to be dry, bright and sunny. Similar story across the southeast, maybe seeing a touch more cloud just around these eastern fringes, but generally it's going to be fine. Again, temperatures will start to fall back as we go towards the end of the day. And as far as the southwest goes, again, we're going to see some sunshine, maybe the odd shower right down towards parts of Cornwall. For tonight, a bitterly cold night. Again, we'll see that snow just creeping down. And just a quick flash, this is what we've got in store for the weekend. You got it? Lizzie Summary.
For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, gm.tv, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
Giving the gift of life for Christmas, the woman who's donating a kidney to her friend. An incredible story. Good morning, you're watching GMTV today.
It's approaching 8 o'clock, Friday the 16th of December, 2005.
Dorothy Bond has only known her friend Saroj for 4 years, but she's now giving her one of her kidneys, quite a Christmas present, meeting them both in around 15 minutes' time.
Yeah, wonderful story. As well as that, Britain's worst dancer is waiting to be crowned. That's Len and Arlene. They're not bad dancers. These guys are. They're doing everything they can to win it, trying to bribe them. Whether it's you guys at home that are doing the voting. We're going to find out at about 8:30 who is officially Britain's worst dancer. They're bribing them with loo rolls.
Yes, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. And it's not just our dancers who are praying for success this morning. Michael Underwood is with the X Factor finalists.
That's right, guys. I'm here backstage where the X Factor's filmed in Wembley, and I'm going to be having a chat with the finalists a bit later on this morning on Entertainment Today. Oh, and don't forget, you can have your vote on the website, gm.tv, to decide who you think's going to win tomorrow's show.
Thank you very much, Michael. Talking to Michael a lot more later on. Also, it's your chance to win £10,000 cash.
But right now it's 8 o'clock. Here's the news from Arouge.
Thank you, Penny. Good morning. The main headlines this morning. The biggest party night of the year, but get home safely. Crisis in care, a dramatic rise in the number of people suffering from dementia. And the penguins who ate all the pies. The top story this morning, and one of the biggest party nights of the year, women are being told, enjoy yourself, but make sure you get home safely. Matt Arnold's in Manchester for us this morning. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Arouge. Every night leading up to Christmas is a big night in the pub and club and restaurant trade, but this one in particular, the last full weekend and the Friday night before that, they're calling this one Black Friday in the trade, and thousands of people up and down the country will be going straight from the office tonight out to their Christmas beanos to have a great time and hopefully enjoy themselves. But there is this worry as to how people get home safely, particularly women. I was out in Manchester last night where I saw a lot of people out having a great time, enjoying the Christmas parties. They really did have good fun, and a lot of them had been sensible and organised their transport home. I say a lot of them because that clearly means not all.
If you've got all your friends around you, that's really good, but, you know, sometimes you can end up on your own. You've had too much to drink, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know who's going to pick you up.
We're interested in how much planning you've thought about how to get home.
Do you know what? We haven't thought about it.
To be honest, there is no thought in how to get home.
You hear so many stories about, like, stuff happening in taxis that you have to be so careful now, so it's always a big thing when we go out to plan how everyone's getting home.
So clearly there's some of those women hadn't thought about that all-important trip home at the end of the night, and probably it's very easy to do that, isn't it? You're very excited about getting to the party, and it's something that slips your mind. Well, the police in Manchester, along with the council here, are running a campaign, and it's been replicated across the country with these posters that you'll probably see up and down the land in pubs and clubs tonight. And the messages are very simple. This one, no thanks, no problem, no trouble. Small words, a big difference. Pace, a small decision, a big result. Pace your drinks and stay out of trouble. And finally, the one on the right here, plan. To go out, to get home, stay with your friends and stay safe and have a great Christmas party.
Matt, thank you. It might already affect one of your loved ones and could, in the future, ruin your life. According to new research, 750,000 people in this country suffer from dementia, and worldwide the numbers are doubling every 20 years. Lucy McDonald reports.
Experts call the illness a ticking time bomb. The study by dementia charity Alzheimer's Disease International says every 7 seconds a new case of dementia arises. The report estimates that across the globe 24.3 million people suffer, 750,000 in the UK. By 2040 it's predicted that will rise to 1.2 million, or 81 million worldwide.
Dementia can affect anybody, you or I, Ronald Reagan, anybody's grandma, anybody's mum. stigma is a real problem, and I feel that people like Ronald Reagan and like Carol Thatcher talking about her mother having a diagnosis is so important, because it really encourages people to come forward and gain access to an improved quality of life.
Dementia is a progressive, degenerative brain disorder that affects memory, thinking and behaviour. The most common form is Alzheimer's, which affects 1 in 5 people over 80. Experts say governments must start to plan policy and allocate resources to cope with the predicted increase.
Tony Blair begins the tough talking in Brussels today as he tries to salvage a European budget deal. Fellow EU leaders are demanding the UK surrender more of its annual rebate. Mr Blair's worked hard to find a way forward and hopes to end his presidency of the EU with a solution. Mothers who've lost a baby through sudden infant death syndrome are more likely to have a complicated future pregnancy. New research highlights problems including premature birth, which increases the risk of SIDS. A passenger plane has been forced to make an emergency landing on a tropical island. The Venezuela state airline had taken off from the capital, Caracas, but got into problems with its landing gear. Firefighters sprayed foam across the runway before the plane landed safely on its belly at Margarita Island. 3 campaign groups who are trying to protect polar bears are suing the American government. They say the animals could be extinct within our lifetime unless action is taken now. They want the government to cut down on emissions of greenhouse gases, which are causing global warming. And from polar bears to penguins at a zoo in Japan, which have been putting on a bit of weight, so they've been put on a strict exercise regime. Keepers are taking them for long walks in the snow to stop them getting obese. They say that just like humans, the birds tend to put on weight in the winter. It's nearly 8:05. That's all from me. Here's Penny and Ben.
Very like humans.
Talking about exercise.
Only 10 minutes to go in the race for votes for Britain's Worst Dancer. You're choosing the winner. These are the guys. First up is David, our Geordie dancer. If you fancy voting for high-kicking, caterpillar flipping David, text A to 84070. There you go.
Now, if you want, on the other hand, to vote for nurse Laura, who takes it all obviously very seriously, text B to 84070.
If you want to vote for Mick's routines, Mick, our roofer, who has dyslexic hips, text C to 840... What was he doing? 84070, that's for Mick.
And last but not least, it's the man who just likes to let it all hang out. Billy, is he Britain's worst dancer? Text D to 84070. I think he needs a tablet.
I think he's had a few too many already. Text costs 25p plus the usual costs. You can also vote on the website, gm.tv. There they all are. Our 4 awful dancers. The question is, who is the worst? Keep the votes coming in. It stops at 20 past. We've got just under 15 minutes to do it. We're going to reveal the winner at 8:30.
Do you think Billy zips it up, keeps it zipped up at any stage?
Never, never.
Still to come, we meet the woman about to donate a kidney to her best friend.
First, though, here's what's happening where you are.
Good morning, welcome to the Breakfast News from ITV Granada. Police have launched a murder investigation after a man was found with stab wounds at a shop in Manchester. He was discovered in the Spanish wine store in Old Trafford last night. Officers are appealing for witnesses. 2 men will be sentenced later for the murder of a pensioner in Manchester. 71-year-old Augustine Majumezia died of head injuries after being robbed in his flat in Miles Platting. 38-year-old David Flynn and 34-year-old John Crilly have been found guilty of his murder. Concern is mounting for the safety of a Merseyside man, as his family haven't heard from him for a month. 54-year-old Bernard Cook was said to be under extreme pressure when he disappeared. Jennifer Humphreys reports.
Bernard Cook has everything to live for, a high-powered job, a prestigious home and a loving family. But they haven't heard from him for a month.
I did know that he had an overwhelming workload and therefore perhaps was quieter than usual. But nothing on that morning was any different to any other morning.
On the 16th of November, the Port of Liverpool executive sent his wife an email from work, then left his dockside office in a company car, captured here on CCTV footage. His family refused to consider the worst and are urging him to come home.
On to football, and Liverpool and Bolton will find out who they'll play in the knockout stages of their European competitions. Liverpool are in the last 16 of the Champions League, while Bolton are in the UEFA Cup. Take that, fans have another chance today to get hold of tickets for their reunion tour. Thousands queued overnight earlier this month to get their hands on tickets for their concert at the MEN Arena, which sold out in minutes. But now more dates have been added at the City of Manchester Stadium, which is also expected to sell out quickly. And if you want a chance to win tickets to see the band, keep watching. In this golden envelope are a pair of front row seats, and we'll be giving them away tonight on Granada Reports. That's it for now. I'll be back at 5 to 11. Time now for a look at the region's weather.
Damaged in winter. Rescued by Pantene Pro V Winter Rescue. Sponsors of GMTV Weather.
A cloudy start with some light rain. This afternoon will be much brighter and drier with some sunshine. Temperatures reaching 8 Celsius, 46 Fahrenheit, but it will feel cold in that northwest wind.
It's the last weekend before Christmas, and today is being called Fuzzy Friday due to the huge number of parties and festive celebrations. But just how safe are you as you head home tonight? Here's Matt Arnold.
In the pub and club trade, they call tonight Black Friday, with thousands of office workers heading out on the town where they might normally be heading home.
Even though I'm getting a lift home, my husband's going to pick me up. You've still got to walk out and wait. You know, there's people passing by, so, you know, you do need to think about what's around you as well.
The message that I would give to anybody visiting the City of Manchester is it's safe, it's secure, it's a great place to visit. Enjoy yourselves and enjoy yourselves in safety.
A lot of partygoers out last night had sensibly thought about their journeys home.
At the moment, I'm planning on going home on the tram with my friend, but then I'm not quite sure what I'm doing at the other end.
It's the night most firms have their office due. But have a think about the don'ts before you set off on yours.
Well, Jackie Hames from BBC's Crime Watch joins us this morning. Morning, Jackie. I am amazed, actually, in terms of sort of the amount that we see about these incidents of women being attacked when they've got into an illegal minicab, when they've got into an unlicensed minicab. I'm still amazed that the situation occurs on a night like tonight when there's a big party, that women still do this.
Yeah, it is strange, but, I mean, in the cold light of day, women, if you asked a woman if she would go out at night on her own and get into a car with a stranger, she would say absolutely not. But you put alcohol and the party atmosphere into the mix, and people's self-preservation instincts drop, and they have a less fear of danger, and they do things they just wouldn't do normally, unfortunately, and that's life. All we would say is please try and think ahead. Stick with a group of people so you can look after each other, and try and plan ahead so that you know you're going to get home before you even take that first drink.
We have had a number of adverts sort of warning women not to get into the illegal cars. I mean, they're very strong, hard-hitting adverts, a lot of them. Why do you think it is that that the message isn't getting through? Because, you know, you can say pre-plan, you can say organise yourself, but often the situation will be it's just before Christmas, you're going to be in the office with your friends, they'll say come for a drink, and one drink leads to another. And you find yourself suddenly in a situation when you haven't got a car. Why are we so unable to make that sort of judgment where we say, actually, I will stick around and I will take a proper licence cab as opposed to jumping in the first car that comes past?
I suppose, Ben, at the end of the day, it's alcohol, isn't it? It's the fact that we drug ourselves with this substance, which is, you know, fun and part of our daily lives and social lives, and we don't realise it quite often, the effect that it has on our judgment. And I think, you know, as you go through the years, you should know what it does to you, and you should know how your friends and you react to it, and try and be sensible enough to take precautions to make sure you don't get into a car with a stranger. I mean, not all unlicensed even cab drivers are sex attackers, but a lot of sex attackers do use as a ruse to attack vulnerable women, and you are vulnerable when you've had a drink and you're out on your own at night.
I suppose the problem is as well, though, that unlicensed cabs often don't have insurance, and
That's
that's
the other
another one
thing,
of the
yeah.
problems.
If you get injured, you know, you're stuck with an injury and no
Yeah.
comeback at all.
Well, we have had some interesting texts from people at home with some great suggestions. Lynn from Gosport, she's arranged to be picked up by a friend's son, who certainly welcomed the opportunity to earn some extra cash, which is a great idea. Sue Starkey in Bognor Regis, there's an increase of female cab drivers in their area, so she can look for a lady driver or ask for one. And Elaine from Bolton's had a great idea. Take a picture of the taxi registration number and send it or text it to a friend, which of course is obviously going to offer a certain amount of security.
And you could also say to the cab driver, if you're a little bit unsure, say, look, you know, I'm a bit nervous, can I just ring a friend, get you to talk to them, give you his personal details, name and address, the cab company he works for, the details, and just give yourself a little bit of space and a bit of reassurance before you take that step into the cab.
Because let's face it, if they've got nothing to hide, they're going to be quite happy to do that.
Of course, and they're probably more than happy to do that.
Excellent. Ducky, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
The time is 13 minutes past 8. Still to come, donating your kidney for Christmas, the amazing present that one woman is giving her friend.
Yeah, and your chance to win £10,000 as well, all after the break.
GMTV Christmas lights. Sponsored by Clinton Cards.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. He's sorted out his presents, has Ben?
Yes, we've got lots of them, not quite finished yet, but I'm looking forward to, we're going down to Cornwall, so I'm looking forward to getting down to Cornwall and everything being sorted. The mum's been down there, so she'll have it all done. Now look, we've been running, we've been running our competition to find the best Christmas lights around the country, and we're very excited. We've got a celebrity entry, Philip Neville, from one of the Neville brothers who plays for Everton. As you can see, he's lined his driveway with blue Christmas tree lights.
Yeah.
In a bid to enter our competition.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You see, the thing is, the weird thing is, he's spent 5,000.
Yes.
And you don't get much more if you actually win the
Well,
competition.
no, he's hoping to get the money back. Unfortunately, Philip, we're not going to allow you to enter, but it's a good effort. But there is time for you to enter our Christmas lights competition. This is it. The prize, as Penny said, £5,000. You also get £5,000 for a charity of your choice. And this morning's lights belong to Sue and Alan Mariner, from Aveley in Essex.
Oh, now we can see Sue and Alan, who, in a minute, we're going to be seeing Sue and Alan. Oh, we saw them already.
That's not Sue and Alan.
No, it isn't. That isn't one of their 3 sons or grandchildren, their daughter and son-in-law. And now Sue and Alan have collected over £500 for cancer research in the time that they've had the lights on.
Look at that. That's amazing.
It's quite incredible, isn't it?
That's fantastic.
Oops, we've blown a fuse. Now, the time is 19 minutes past 8. Talk about the ultimate Christmas present, the gift of life, and that is literally, we're going to cross now to Telford and talk to Saroj and her best friend Dorothy. Good morning to you. So, Saroj, you're getting a kidney for Christmas.
I am, yes. Wonderful gift. An ultimate present, like you said.
It is incredible, and Dorothy is the person who's donating it. So, Saroj, tell us first of all what life is like for you at the moment.
Quite slow for me because I'm on dialysis for all the night and at lunchtime as well. I'm rigged up to a machine and it's done through the peritoneum in my stomach. My social life is totally cut at 9 o'clock where I have to rig myself up to the machine. I'm tired, I'm really exhausted and I'm just ready for Sunday.
Very exciting about Sunday. Now, meanwhile, Dorothy, you've known Saroj for 4 years, I think. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
4 years.
We met when we used to work together.
Yes, and so you know all about Saroj's life and about how difficult it is for her. When did you decide to give her the kidney?
I decided 3 years ago, but we were given misinformation that it had to be Asian to Asian. 12 months ago, I decided myself to take it forward and go and see if I could indeed give a kidney. And we matched, and we're a good match, which is incredible. And I'm very happy to do what I'm doing. And it was just a need to help someone else who needed some help.
And Saroj, what was your reaction when your friend said, look, you know, I'll donate the kidney?
It was just absolutely a wow factor, sort of a miracle come true. It was just fantastic. I just haven't got the words to say. It was like I humanity. You know, it's a wonderful gift from humanity, from my friend Dot. But there's so many good people still around in the world, and Dot is one of them.
Yeah, impossible to find the words to say thank you. So both of you are going to be in hospital for Christmas, though.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. We're going to be celebrating together. Probably wheeling down our wheelchairs and having fun.
Throwing yourselves down the corridors. How long is it?
I wish we'd make some noise.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of joy and congratulations.
Right.
So, how long is it going to be before you're actually totally out of the woods with this?
I mean, they reckon I'll be in hospital for about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how I react. But about 3 months is about to sort of the time that they think that the kidney's okay and functioning well, and perhaps life back to normal. That'd be wonderful.
And what about you, Dorothy? How long is it going to be for you?
I should be in about a week, and then I should be off work for about 3 months, while my other kidney takes over the function of the other one. And then I should be A-OK and back to normal.
Well, Dorothy, you're an example to us all. You know, well done. I mean, I don't think anybody can possibly imagine what it's like for Saroj and to be given such an incredible Christmas present. Good luck, best wishes for smooth and successful operations. And thank you very, very much for talking to us this morning. And for more details on kidney donations, phone the NHS organ donor register on 0845 606 0400.
Just extraordinary. Now then, time to catch up with Keep Chegwin in Lapland. Your last chance to win £10,000.
Welcome back to my exclusive chat with the Santa Claus Father Christmas. One question I've been asked to ask you from Andrew Castle. Who genuinely is your favourite reindeer?
Well, Rudolph is my favourite reindeer.
Really?
Yes.
And the other question I've got to ask you, do you honestly know whether children out there have been naughty or nice?
Yes, I do. You see, Santa has a bunch of elves all over the world, and they sneak through all the windows following what the children are doing, and they report to me all the time if the children have been nice or not nice.
Oh, well, I've been really, really nice all year, and I can prove it. Yeah, look, Santa, take a look at this. Yes. Oh, well, I mean, there was the odd hiccup and there was the odd traumatic moment there, so maybe I haven't been that nice. But I will get all the presents I've asked for.
Well, we'll see on Christmas Day.
We're giving you the chance to win £10,000 in time for Christmas for you to spend on whatever you like, courtesy of High Life Breaks. For your chance to win, here's the question you need to answer. Which band had a hit with Merry Christmas, Everybody? A, S Club 7, B, Slade, or C, Supertramp?
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149.
Blinds close at 9 o'clock, so good luck to you all. Get darling. Father Christmas, Santa, it's been a real pleasure. And you've still got that Christmas list for all the GMTV presenters?
Yes, it's up in the office.
Brilliant. And don't worry about Ben Shepherd, as I say. All right, lovely. Cheers, folks.
Bye.
Santa. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Woohoo!
Keith, if I don't get any presents from Father Christmas, I will be furious.
Have you got a chimney?
Yes, absolutely.
Have you? Well,
yeah,
it's
we've
not
got a
connected
chimney.
to the boiler,
No,
so
we've
it's
got a
not going
chimney,
to
and
get
there will be a
connected to the hot
stocking up.
water
I
system.
still get Father Christmas presents to this day, and I'm, you know.
Yeah.
Me and my son will be beside ourselves if Father Christmas doesn't come down that chimney, and I'm going to blame Cheggers. The lines for that competition will close at 9 o'clock. We'll be revealing the winner in Entertainment Day later on.
Still to come this morning, the wait is nearly over. The final votes have been cast. In a minute, one of these smooth movers is going to be crowned Britain's worst dancer.
Can hardly wait.
Nervous there.
The tension, the drama, the excitement. Before that, though, Christmas pudding with John Christophe Novelli.
You can buy excellent ready-made Christmas puddings nowadays. So save your energy for partying and customize one of them. I love white chocolate with Christmas pudding. I have with me here some of my favorite white chocolate. What you need to do is to pose it on the top of a boiling water, and for the next 5-10 minutes, mix it very gently until it's softened. Next, add some double cream, and then mix it until it thickens. I've got some cherry brandy. Mix it very gently. It's absolutely delicious. Once you're happy with the flavors, pour the mixture into the cube trays and freeze. Then next, add your white chocolate inside the pudding. Then add your pudding back. Press it back carefully. Add some cling film and then back in a steamer. And finally, add some of my special favorite tangerine sauce.
This Christmas, when it has to be ready in a minute, Spa, sponsors of Christoph at Christmas. GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles. Brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello there, good morning. Now, we've already got some snow today. It's up across the Northern Isles of Scotland, up across the Northern Highlands, Southern Scotland, Northern England. You're waking up to a bright, cold start today. We do have some cloud, though, across the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and across much of England and Wales. As we go into the afternoon, what we will see is those wintry showers just sinking their way southwards. I've had too many chocolates this morning. Into northern Scotland, eastern Scotland, maybe even sinking as far south as just the north coast of Norfolk. Away from all that, again, good sunny spells, but more especially the further north that you are, that cloud continuing, and temperatures will get cooler and fresher as we go through the day. It is going to be a cold old end to the day and a cold, frosty night tonight. Cold day for Saturday, those wintry showers continuing, and then for Sunday, it will turn wetter from the west. I was expecting Penny to walk across with them, but you didn't. You were just nibbling chocolate.
I was just going to give you... Did you want one?
Yeah, that'd be great. Ben.
Thanks very much, Andrea. Earlier on this morning, let's not talk about it. Earlier on this morning, we had the Friday dance-off to find Britain's worst dancer. David Johnson was on first. Geordie Dancer, he was fantastic, in fantastic form, controlling the dance mat with power and control of sorts. Our only girl finalist, Laura Mellor, proved that she can hold her own and bang them out amongst the others. Mick Ward produced a display that I'm sure he will be proud of for many years to come. And last, and probably least, was unstoppable, certainly with his zip. There it is. All his building friends will be screaming for him when he gets home this afternoon. Our dancers standing by waiting for the results. We have the results that will be revealed very shortly. Firstly, a quick chat to our judges, Arlene and Len from Strictly Come Dancing. Arlene, have you seen something to be proud of today?
Well, they were all so remarkably awful. It makes Fiona Phillips look like Sid Charisse.
That's praise indeed. Len, for you...
well, I'm sure if ever bad dancing became an Olympic sport, we've got a potential gold medalist amongst this four. That's absolutely great.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us today. Richard Matney.
Matty, isn't it?
Who are you?
Yeah, we've nearly finished, don't
We've
worry.
nearly finished. You've been the champion of this cause for the whole week. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I've enjoyed myself a great deal. I was shocked, much like Len and Arlene, about just how bad it was. And I'm going to spend the next, I don't know, probably a couple of months in either in a clinic or in a room without any electricity.
You'll be going back then?
Yes. Back to my flat.
What have these guys been playing for today?
It's all to play for, of course it is. We've seen it all. I mean, look at that. It is a lovely, lovely item. Britain's Worst Dancer trophy, the 2 left feet trophy, as well as the title, of course.
2 left feet and webbed toes as well.
Webbed toes as well. I mean, it's something that will grace any shelf, you know, but probably behind the things that are more valuable. We're going to have it engraved, but obviously the budget's a bit tight for this item.
At the moment.
Well, we spent it all on this mat,
yes,
so we're going to
clearly.
say. But they do win that. Of course, they do also win the lovely holiday. I wonder if we can see that footage again of the Mexicans. Let's see it. There it is. 2 weeks in Mexico, 5-star holiday, all-inclusive, courtesy of Direct Holidays, with some very typical Mexicans. There they are, people you find on every street corner.
Soaking up the atmosphere. Do people really row like that?
Huh?
Do people really
they do in
row
Mexico,
like
apparently. We've just seen it.
They do. OK, that's what they've been playing for. They're all poised and ready. Can we have a drum roll, please? The winner of Britain's Worst Dancer 2005 goes to... Laura Mellor!
Oh! Exceptional, Laura
only
Mellor.
lady but she took it with assets that none of them had. Richard, in you go, present the award.
It gives me great pleasure, Laura Mellor. Well done to you. Congratulations. You are officially awful. Well done to you. You take the title, Britain's Worst Dancer. What a pleasure. And, of course, you get the holiday. What a pleasure.
So proud.
God, so proud. And I met your parents. They'll be very proud as well, I feel.
Will.
Yeah, they will have left that to your
They'll be
family
crying
home.
now.
Yes, they will.
Is this the sort of thing, Laura, that your life's been building towards this moment?
It has. Fame at last.
Sort of, Laura, sort of.
Just hold the feet on, they're going to fall off.
Yeah, don't let the feet go. In fact, if Richard would take that off you just for one last time...
I will take it, because this is a very weak glue on here.
So the nation can bask in your glory one last time. Could we enjoy your worst dancing exploits? Laura Mellor, Britain's Worst Dancer 2005, everybody. Take it away.
What can we say? That is so fantastically bad. Thank you all. Yeah, another round of applause for the winner of the Worst Dancer, Britain's official worst dancer. Thank you very much. Yes, Ben has disappeared to go and slip into something more comfortable for E.T. Thank you very much. Thank you to the losers as well. Excellent. Really well done, though. Thank you very much, Darlene and Len. And that's it from us.
Entertainment Today, sponsored by Universal Music and Asda's Artist of the Week, the Pussycat Dolls.
I got it! I never get it! I got it!
You always get it. You fix it in advance. That's how you always get it.
You'll get it.
Go and wear the hat then. Hello, welcome to Entertainment Today. As you can see, Christmas has come early.
Someone's very upset with Britain's Worst Dancer.
I thought you were going to win that for a moment there. Anyway, you're such a big kid, always wanted to win things like that. He couldn't resist to wait and pull a few crackers.
Chance of pulling a few crackers. I was going to wait till the Christmas party this evening, but obviously we're going to start early. Any excuse for a party, I like celebrating, but it's not just me today. Everybody in the show is as well. The bad girls down at Lark Hall have been getting into the spirit of things, even if they are banged up and on the inside.
True. And Miss Sarah Jessica Parker, she's definitely gone all Christmassy with her new film, but can she hold her own, and will she speak the truth with Jackie in the E.T. Quickfire round? You will have to wait and see.
And the waiting's almost over for Shane, Journey South and Andy, who's going to win the X Factor. We're going to be running our own poll for you this morning. You can cast your vote by logging on to the website, gm.tv. And Michael's down at the X Factor studios right now. Morning, Michael.
Good morning, guys. Yes, I'm indeed backstage here at the X Factor. Join me a little bit later on when I'll be chatting with the finalists and finding out how they're feeling just 36 hours before they perform live for your votes.
It's not long at all, is it? And someone we know who's definitely got the X Factor is... Who is it again? Oh, Carla, that's right. Hello there, Carla.
Oh, you've got a great sense of humour, Jennifer. Good morning, guys, and good morning, Britain from Hollywood. Talking of X Factor, these guys have it in spades, and you do not have to wait for tomorrow night either, because we've got them here today. Now, kicking off with my favourite film of the year, scooped 7 Golden Globe nominations. It's got Oscar written all over it and stars 2 of the most talented young men in Hollywood, Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger. And I've been up close and personal with both of them, perhaps not as up close and personal as they got with each other. And Ben, you're going to love this. Mission Impossible 3, it's back. It's bigger and it's slicker than ever. I've got my hands in the trailer. Stars Philip Hoffman and Michelle Monaghan and, of course, Mr. Cruise himself. So do not leave the house. All that and a whole lot more coming up on Entertainment Today.
Mission Impossible 3.
I know, and Brokeback Mountain. Both of them look good there.
Mission Impossible 3. Oh,
we have got that coming up later. First, though, it is competition time. Your final chance to win £10,000. Think of all the presents you could buy. Keith Chegwin has the details.
We're giving you the chance to win £10,000 in time for Christmas for you to spend on whatever you like, courtesy of High Life Breaks. For your chance to win, here's the question you need to answer. Which band had a hit with Merry Christmas Everybody? A, S Club 7, B, Slade, or C, Supertramp?
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149. Or you can enter via the website.
OK, those lines are open until 9 o'clock. You've got 20 minutes. We'll be revealing the winner at the end of the show.
You only do that so you can show that you're a mathematical genius now.
Yes, I do.
OK, now I like this bit. Time for some ET gossip. Good. Forget the mince pies. We've got these tasty showbiz morsels for you instead.
Now, to mark the 25th anniversary of the legend that was John Lennon, Yoko Ono has donated Lennon's solo back catalogue to Amnesty International's Music Download project. The Cure, Snow Patrol and the Black Eyed Peas are amongst the bands that are recreating classic Lennon hits, with the Black Eyed Peas performing a moving version of Power to the People. Now, someone who's exploring the darker side of Lennon's death is actor Jared Leto. The ex-boyfriend of Cameron Diaz and star of My So-Called Life is causing controversy for his role as Mark Chapman, the man jailed for killing Lennon. Chaps 27 is being filmed in New York as we speak, and word on the showbiz grapevine is that Leto and co-star Lindsay Lohan may have taken their working relationship to a more, well, personal level.
It's gonna be insane. Literally.
Now, we all know she's the leading lady of comedy, but it seems the lovely Dawn French needs a bit of reassurance. The Chronicles of Narnia star was telling me why she and her funny pal Jennifer Saunders have limited their special shows to solely Christmas time.
We're quite old now, quite elderly, and so we have to take our time to do the writing.
Not sure it's time for the bus passes just yet, ladies. Now get your combs out of your pockets and polish up those leather trousers, guys and gals, as the legendary Happy Days may be back. Oh yes, Richie Cunningham, a.k.a. Ron Howard, took time out of his filming schedule for the Da Vinci Code to spill the beans on a possible Happy Days reunion.
It's a great bunch of characters, and there was a great creative team behind it then that's still very active, and so who knows?
Well, you heard it here first. Now, if you feel like tapping your toes and belting out a song this Christmas, then Guys and Dolls just might be for you. Starring Sarah Lancashire and everyone's favourite East Ender Nigel Harman, incidentally filling Ewan McGregor's dance shoes, this West End musical tells the story of a group of small-time gamblers and the ladies in their lives. And with speculation abound as to whether Nigel will be killed off from Enders, I'd say the safest place for him is on that stage.
Hey, what's the matter, Sky? You turning chicken? You see me roll for 100 G's.
Nice accent, Nige.
But I got a little more than dough riding on this one.
And finally, the race for the Christmas #1 is well and truly hotting up. The X Factor winner is a strong contender, but a surprise outsider has come in the form of John Parker and Luke Concannon, a.k.a. Nizlopi. Their track, the JCB song about paternal love, is set to capture the public's imagination, and the guys are also said to be touring with Magic Fingers himself, Jamie Cullum. Looks like Nizlopi may have a rosy path ahead.
Now, I do like that song.
Brilliant song.
I know. I do think it's a good one. Anyway, maybe the #1 spot. Perhaps it will be a Ju.
Yeah, it could be.
Nizlopi. Is that how you say it?
That is.
Nizlopi.
Yeah.
Head-to-head with the X Factor's single, maybe.
Yeah, which is only going to be released on the Wednesday as well, so you're only going to have a few days to buy it.
I thought they were going to be printing it as of the final tomorrow.
Yeah,
they're going to
print them from the Saturday night, but they're only going to get into the shops by the Wednesday. Amazing, isn't it? Maybe Michael can enlighten us further into that, Jewel. He's down the X Factor HQ. Morning, Michael.
Good morning, Ben. Morning, Jenny. Morning, everyone at home there. Yeah, I'll tell you what, my money would be on the X Factor single if you're going to ask me, but the tension is building down here at the X Factor studios. This is rehearsal day, so it's a very busy day, as you'll know, Ben, when you're down here. Lots of people and crew gathering together, and the X Factor stars themselves are on their way in. But let's not forget how big this show is. 75,000 people auditioned for it. 10 million viewers have been watching the series, up to 2 million votes each week, and tomorrow night is expected to draw in the biggest audience yet. This is going to be a big one. Not only are they bringing in the audience, they're also bringing in the awards. And Wednesday night was no exception. It was, of course, the British Comedy Awards, where anyone who's anyone in the world of entertainment and comedy turns up to make the most of all that free drink and food that's on offer. And I've got to say, they were fresh from their NTA award, but the X Factor judges and Kate Thornton turned up. And were they there to get an award? Of course they were. They picked up the award for Best Comedy Entertainment Programme. But I've got to say, they seemed a bit, well, bemused about the whole thing.
We're not actually a comedy programme, so, or intentionally. So it was like Coronation Street winning best, you know, documentary.
Yeah.
You know?
But we do have a laugh making it, so obviously that shows.
I think it does show. It's a really good, fun programme to watch. But obviously, we're all talking about the finalists releasing singles. What can you tell us, Michael?
Well, this is very interesting. There were rumours saying that all three of them would be releasing some singles, but it seems to be mixed views within the judges. I did ask them the question. Here's what they had to say.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Louis, you can't say
I think they can,
Not
yeah.
necessarily.
No, not...
They deserve them, Sana.
Not with
They all deserve it.
Not with the climate in the industry
Yeah, you're
today.
right.
Nothing is a
They need to win this
certainty.
one.
Really, you really do need to win. In the climate of the record industry today, they have to win.
Okay.
I think Louis spoke a little bit too quickly there.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that he didn't toe the party line, because if you look at it, G4 released last year, didn't they? And Steve released, but then Tabby never quite got the deal he sorted. Have to be interested to see what happens. But one man, we know that we'll be releasing something at some point. Is that Chico?
What time is it?
I'll
Chico
tell you what, you cannot keep a good man down. Chico was there at the awards ceremony on Wednesday night, and everyone wanted to talk to him. And of course, we had heard he was going to try and release a single before Christmas, but it didn't happen. He did tell me that single is definitely coming out at some time. Take a look.
It had to stop for the winner, and rightfully so. Whoever wins deserves, you know, the #1 slot, Christmas or whatnot. But I'm quite happy to come in January, somewhere, sometime, you know. But as long as it's not February. January's good, February's still there. March, I'm going to be raising my eyebrows. Hey, yo, what's going on, man?
Be raising his eyebrows. Please let that single come out before March so we don't have to see the eyebrows being raised, I tell you. And here they come. Take a look behind me here. How are you guys, all right? They've brought tea. Hopefully they brought some tea for me and some bacon butties. I can't smell them yet, though, hopefully. Join me a little bit later on when I'll be catching up with these guys and finding out how they feel.
Excellent.
Can I say they're a bit far away from me? Is that the X Factor finalist?
It is, definitely there. We'll get back to Michael and the gang. I can see Carl sit there. He's got his trademarked hair straighteners being used. We're going to head over to Hollywood now, because Carla's there. I understand, Carla. It's a case of cat that got the cream.
Ben, as you know, I'm not generally one to say I told you so, but can I just say I told you so? 7 Golden Globe nominations, and in my opinion, the best movie of the year. I've been banging on about it, as you know, for months.
Now, Southern Draws aside and film aside, Hollywood heartthrobs, I'm presuming you got to speak to them, Carla.
Jennifer, do you really have to ask? Please, 2 of the most talented, hunkiest men in Hollywood. Clearly, I was first in line. I caught up with both Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal, and I asked Heath what we can expect. I mean, this is a very sensitive movie.
It's a love story, primarily. It's a for my character, it's a story of a man who's still carrying the traditions of his family, of his father and his father's father, and their outlooks on life. Inside of this is a man in love with a man, and so he's a tortured soul.
OK, well, I mean, a lot of pain in this movie, and tortured souls aside, it did have a lot of cowboy action as well. Heath Ledger was used to riding the horses. Jake wasn't so easy.
You should have seen me when we were saddling up the horses, and it was like, yeah, the saddle, Jake, the saddle goes, it should shape around, it turn it upside down. That's how it's supposed to go, you know? I'm like, what? Oh, okay, sorry, you know.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Carla.
Got to say, actually, congratulations to Bill Nye and Kelly MacDonald, who were both nominated for Best Actor, Actress at the Golden Globes for A Girl in the Cafe, and obviously they've both been on the show
Friends
regularly.
of the show.
Friends of E.T.
There you go. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Christmas festivities in the SJP Matthew Broderick household. After all, what you get the gift for the woman who surely must have everything.
I know, are you still thinking about pressing
Still
for
thinking
me?
about you,
Oh,
Jen.
that's it. And, of course, lots more X Factor. Who's going to win? Shane, Journey South, or Andy? Welcome back. Now, never before has an item on the show caused so much debate, so much opinion, and so much passion. And no, I'm not talking about your tie, or more to the point, lack of it.
My lack of tie.
We are, of course, talking about E.T. Sweepstakes.
Of course, way back, would you believe this, in June we kicked off our competition by asking our guests and you guys at home to try and guess how many sweets we had in our jar. We did have the odd disaster along the way.
Dave.
Thanks to Dave,
Where are you?
one of our boys. He threw the jar mercilessly on the floor. He's hiding, conveniently. It smashed, but that didn't deter us from our mission. Oh no, a whole load of new sweets and a new jar had to be introduced.
See, Dave always does a runner at that point, doesn't he? See the lengths we go to. Oh,
There
there
he's
he is, see,
hiding.
running again.
The shame. The shame. Butterfingers. Obviously, the same amount of top secret amount of sweets was put into the jar, but we have had great fun and some great guesses on this journey. Roll up, Ben, the sugar daddy shepherd here. Get your gnashers round, some of me gobstoppers. This is the big question of the day, Ben.
Look at him, he looks
How
so
many
excited.
sweets are there in that jar? 1.
That's just like you're dreaming. Go back to playing piano.
You've got a sweetie jar.
There we go.
And a Lee Ryan guest.
2,300. How big is it?
It's probably about, I would say, about that big.
I'll go for 1,752.
723. How many are in there?
Yeah.
863.
200,000 sweets.
300.
Is that really dumb?
703.
703.
It's weird that you would ask me about that.
I know, I'm sorry. 727.
3,000 and...
There is 1,113.
1,259.
12 cubed.
What on it?
1,728.
1,728.
2,023. 1,117.
834.
834.
Can't believe I wasn't here to take that guess up.
I got it up there. Some of them were rubbish,
I
to
love
be
the
fair.
fact Ben, what's his name? Ben
Stiller.
Stiller went, I don't know why you're asking me that.
And Ben Folds 5. Rubbish.
But some rubbish guesses. And, oh, yeah, I mean, terrible. But the correct answer was only 9 sweets out. Can you believe that? We have a celebrity winner. We know you're desperate to
I'm
find out.
desperate to know it is. They wouldn't tell me.
Oh, OK, it's been so top secret. They haven't even told us. But this is the moment we know, and Michael went to surprise the winner.
Right then, I'm here backstage at the Brixton Academy getting ready to surprise the winner of the Entertainment Today Sweepstakes. Now, to give you a bit of a clue, they're sound checking downstairs. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to go and hide in the dressing room and get ready for them. Hello, guys. Hello. Come on in. Sorry for invading your dressing room.
joking.
I am from Entertainment Today.
Yeah, I recognise you. How you doing? You all right?
Remember we came in, you had a guess at the Sweepstakes?
Yeah. Tim? Oh, yeah.
You won it.
Hurrah!
Well
for
done.
Abby.
Now, Kat Dealey was very close
She was
there
very
as well.
close, but not quite close enough. They got beaten by Take That and Connect 4, but they won the sweets, so they're the big winners.
Well done, Abby. And they give us as a prize ourselves free tickets to all their concerts from here on.
Brilliant.
That's the way it works.
Absolute, that should be there.
Now, the actual number was, in fact, 1,719.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1719. And out of the thousands of you who entered, the closest guest was 1,711. And that, of course, was Sabia B from Bradford.
Congratulations
Well
to you.
done.
That's fantastic.
That is very impressive. You've got a year's supply of sweets heading its way to you.
Absolutely
You will be
awesome.
so sick of sweets by the end of Christmas. OK, from the sweepstakes tension to the nerves fraying in Wembley right now, Factor HQ. X Factor HQ. Did
That's
I say
what
Factor
it is,
HQ? X Factor HQ. I forgot the name of the show. It's the biggest thing on TV at the moment. Michael's got some very jittery people with him right now. Michael.
Absolutely, indeed. Well done to Athlete and everyone there with the sweepstakes. I've got to say, Kat Dealey will be fuming when she finds out how close she was. Never mind. Guys, how are you this morning?
Good.
Yeah, good, mate, yeah.
Really good. Well, listen, talk us through what an average Friday is for you. I guess this Friday isn't particularly average before the main show, but talk us through what you're going to be up to.
Well, normally we'd be coming into the studio about 11 o'clock, just basically getting ourselves ready for sound checking and fittings and everything, and it's just a busy day.
Now, let's talk about the song choice, because we know in previous weeks that's been all important. I mean, in the week that Maria went out, the decision was that the song there perhaps wasn't as strong as it could have been. Let's talk about your song choices for tomorrow, because you're singing 3, aren't you? So should we start with you, Andy? Tell us which ones you're singing.
Yeah, I think the viewer's choice for me would have been Me and Mrs. Jones.
Right.
And I'm doing Holy Night as a Christmas song. And the next one would be, oh God, well, mine's gone. When a Man Loves a Woman.
There you go.
When a Man Loves a Woman, Percy Sledge, yeah.
Excellent. And why those choices particularly?
I just think they suit my voice, and I think I'd probably perform them really, really well, so I'm hoping it's going to be a great Saturday for me.
Excellent. So, Shane, let's move to you. What are you up to?
Viewer's choice is If You're Not the One, Di Bedderfield. Christmas number is When a Child is Born. And third and final is Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
That's quite an interesting choice, that song, isn't it, in itself? It's not one... Is it one just because it suits your voice?
No, I'm just thinking, well, I'm in the final, I didn't expect to get this far, so I'm just going to choose a song again and just try and do something with it and just enjoy myself. So that's why it's been picked.
So, something that puts you out there, I guess, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And guys, tell us what 3 songs are you going to do?
We're doing Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, we're doing Let It Be Again, and we're doing Happy Christmas, War Is Over.
That's a great song, absolutely great song. Now, have you been sort of heavily involved in the song choices this week, particularly because they're so important?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, we picked Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, that was our choice. We've been like chewing over which viewers' choice one to pick. We did all get together and decide on Let It Be. Yeah. And Merry Christmas, War Is Over, I think we just came up with that together, didn't we, with Simon and that, so we're pleased.
Now, Andy, I want to talk to you, because you know what it's like to be in the bottom 2, because you were, that's what. But now here you are in the final. I mean, how's it been for you? Because it's a whole mix of emotions going on over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think we've all kind of like gone through a lot of mixed emotions. It's been nerve-wracking. I think we're all kind of, the nerves are like that very much because it is the crescendo, you know what I mean? The main show, and we're all really, really glad to be in the last show, so it's wonderful, you know, but nerve-wracking.
Now, Shane, you've always been the bookies' favourite all the way through this. Now, has that been a lot of pressure on your shoulders? Have you tried to ignore it and just put it out of your mind?
No, I mean, I never did read into being the bookies' favourite. I said if it was the bookies' favourite from the start, then I'm flattered, but I don't understand how they can say that from the start of the show and be talented people as well, do you know what I mean? So, I don't read into it.
Now, have you heard this? There was a story about Brian McFadden might be writing some songs for you, whatever happens to this. Have you heard anything about that?
No.
Would you like that?
I'd love that, yeah, definitely, yeah. That'd be cool.
Excellent. And lads, now, this is interesting, isn't it? Because throughout the series you've sort of built up and built up and built up, and now you've got a massive fans behind you, and some would say that tomorrow this could go your way as well. I mean, how are you dealing with that? How do you sort of cope with that when you go into the performance show?
We're just thinking about tomorrow night, our performance. That's all we're focusing on, really.
Yeah, you just want to try and enjoy it tomorrow night. You know, last week was horrendous. The pressure trying to get into the final. Now, you know, we've all got there, so we're just all going to go out and enjoy it tomorrow night and try and curb the pressure a little bit.
So, one last question. How do you deal with tomorrow night nerves-wise? Because this is what it's all been built up to. The last 6 months, we're going from the auditions to all the process to every live performance to finally when it counts. I mean, how are you even going to deal with it? Have you got any ways of doing it? Any exercise? Any ways of coping?
I think we kind of try and make each other laugh.
Yeah. Backstage.
That kind of helps.
Backstage, we just make each other laugh.
Yeah, and we support each other, you know, a lot, because we all want us to perform to our best and, you know, to make the show a great finish, you know what I mean, for all the months that we've been involved in it. So, yeah, that's
So if we all gear each other up backstage.
Yeah. Nice one.
It's good to try and give yourself 5 minutes on your own as well. Just lock yourself away in your room.
Well, guys, thanks for letting us come down here and have a chat with you. Stick around, because we've got some bits for you as well, so don't go anywhere, but it's been great. So there you are.
Lovely.
Make sure you watch it tomorrow, the X Factor final.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you very much.
Don't you think the Journey South boys' hair looks good as well?
Can I just say, Journey South, there's one thing for sure. Tomorrow there'll be lots of knee bending. They do, they knee bend.
Andy bends his knees very well.
They both do.
OK, well, look, we've actually been running our own poll, ET on the web poll for how we think it's going to look, how you guys at home think it might turn out tomorrow. And we can reveal that in third place with 17% is Andy. In second place, 39% is Journey South. And you guys at home have been voting and reckon Shane, with a massive 44%, is going to take the X Factor victory.
You know, I have to say, I think it is between Shane and Journey South. I do like
We
Journey
don't know
South.
yet.
Shane's going to
Andy's
do
songs
well.
will be amazing. When a man loves a woman, me and Mrs. Jones with the shoes. You never know. We're going to find out tomorrow, of course. We're going to find out exactly what happens tomorrow. And it's going to be huge. It's going to be a massive night. It's going to be amazing, isn't it? What's the matter? Jenny, hold on a sec. What's happened? You've gone all hazy around the edge. And who let Bing Crosby in?
Christmas time for chestnuts, roasting on an open fire.
What are you talking
Yuletide carols being sung by a choir.
Jenny, you all right?
Meeting the in-laws for the first
What
time.
are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Ryan with your fiancé.
Fiancé? Jenny's getting married?
No.
Are you engaged?
No, I'm not getting married.
Hold on,
It was all
stop.
part of it. It's actually all to do with Sarah Jessica Parker's latest film.
Of course, her character Meredith. We
Yeah.
discussed this with SJP last week. She has to go to the family, to the in-laws to meet them. It doesn't quite go to plan, does it?
Exactly, it goes from bad to worse. So we thought we'd ask the lady herself
Really?
about her Christmas in the SJP Matthew
Are you sure
Broderick
you're not
household.
engaged?
I'm not. Would you stop it?
Lots of little presents with your name on, or one huge box?
I'm not a present person.
Oh, come
I'm
on.
really not. They
Here we
embarrass
go.
me. They embarrass me. I know this sounds corny, you probably don't believe it, but I would like a note or a card or
Really?
some kind of memory that I can look back in time and think, oh.
Christmas Day, glamorous frock, comfy sweats, and a terrible sweater.
The morning we all wear our pajamas, and then we go to my parents' house and we dress up. And I will try to get my son to wear something that is not like bell bottoms or a tie-dye
1962.
shirt. Yeah.
Luxurious lingerie or cozy thermals?
I'm a cozy thermal. I mean, I'd rather it be more form-fitting so there is some semblance of a silhouette, but I'm not a lingerie person at all.
Christmas at home or Christmas in the Caribbean?
Oh, home. Always home. I've never spent it anywhere but home.
Home-cooked turkey or dinner at a fabulous restaurant?
Home-cooked turkey.
Do you do the cooking?
We'll go to my mother's house and we'll all cook. We'll all cook, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You good?
Yeah. My whole family is pretty good. My brother's exceptional, and I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
And you have a nephew or a niece on the way. That's a pretty nice
Yes,
Christmas present.
yes. She's due. My sister is due on Christmas Day.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That could be an interesting one.
It's fine with us. We don't care as long as we're together. We don't care where we are.
It's like you and I, we don't care as long as we're not together. It doesn't matter where we are.
Keeps apart. We're going to take another break, I'm afraid. Stick around. We've got some very bad behaviour on the other side from those very bad girls. Christmas has come to Larkhill. We're going to be taking a sneak peek at what festivities are going on behind those cell doors.
Yeah, plus Richard will be here filling us in on some festive TV. Will it be a good old Christmas neat up around the old Joanna? Well, Patricia, shall I just stick to my normal accent? Don't
Very
go too
nearly. Welcome back to Entertainment Today. Still to come, we're going to have an exclusive look at the Mission Impossible 3 trailer with Tom Cruise.
Brilliant.
Looks awesome. First, though, we've got a news flash. An inmate from Larkhall's G-Wing has escaped lockdown to give the ET cameras a special backstage Christmas pass.
See, not even being locked up can dampen those bad girls' festive spirit.
Hello, I'm Danielle Brent, aka Natalie Buxton, and welcome to Behind the Scenes for the Bad Girls Christmas Special.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful.
Today we have been filming the Christmas snowball scene. Yes. Filmed in June, the hottest day on record.
It is boiling here. It's literally just, it looks like kind of paper, a loo roll. That's what it actually feels like, it looks like. But very clean toilet paper.
This is Helen, also known as Body Bag.
Mrs. Hollenby to you.
Okay, I was told. So why are you wearing this really big, heavy outfit in the middle of June?
Well, one sort of wonders, but it's Christmas at Larkhall, and the governor decides that the officers should dress up in Dickensian costume. And I haven't got my full headdress on, but I am Mrs. Bumble.
Come on, everyone! Let's have you inside! Mince pies!
Quiet.
Let's have that panto up and running!
So what are the pros and cons for filming on location?
The definite pro is it gets you out of the studio for the day, so it's nice to get a bit of air. As you know, it's very stuffy where we work and there's no windows or daylight. I think they try to make us feel like we're in prison as much as possible. And the catering's really good on location.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
I'm starving.
For us? Oh, look, Phil. A Christmas hamper. Oh, no, come on, Bev. We've got to share with the others.
What happens to our characters in this episode?
Do we have characters and is there an episode?
Yes,
we
there
just,
is.
We just flow.
She is extremely good with electrics, and she has to save us because we're in a blackout.
I
Tell
have
them
to
what you
go
have to do.
down into the basement with Sylvia.
Body bag.
Yes. And just, you know,
Do what we
generally
normally
save Larkhall.
We do what we normally do.
You know, bring back heat.
Bring back heat. Bring back light.
That's right.
Then there was light because
Yes.
she brought it back,
Yes,
and there they were,
and then-
saved again by
yes.
the Costa-Cons.
So there's a new inmate that turns up in this episode, Miranda.
Yes, there's one prisoner who's still sitting there when all the others have been checked through, Miranda Miles, but there's no paperwork for her.
Ah, mysterious.
Very mysterious, yes. So, and she becomes really the catalyst of the whole episode. Very frightening lady. There's no Miranda Miles here. Oh, where have you come from?
I don't know.
In this wonderful Christmas special, I'm haunted by the ghost of Fenna, which is a pretty hairy thing, let's face it.
can't see
everywhere.
him.
No, I don't understand why she can't see him. I mean, he's everywhere.
Can't see a
absolutely
thing.
everywhere.
But as long as you love me so, let it snow.
So thank you for joining us. I hope you've had a wonderful time coming around our set with us. And Merry Christmas from everyone here at Bad Girls.
I love it when sets are covered in snow. When we went to LA at Easter, the ER set was covered in snow as well. It just was bizarre.
Very Christmassy. We don't have snow, but we have got Richard Arnold.
Hooray! It's the most wonderful time of the year.
How do you say? Just please don't
I won't sing, I won't sing. Down Wolford way we're going, of course, and the bodies are already stacking up. I think there could be one. There could even be two. It's going to be like Midsummer Murders in Wolford over Christmas.
Where's
Happy
John
Christmas.
Nettles?
Marvellous. And there is a classic line from Pauline on next Friday's episode, the Christmas Eve episode, as it is in Down Wolford Way. She does actually say, I think it's going to be our best Christmas ever. No, it won't be. Tonight, however, Nana Moon shuffles off from Albert Square. Oh, Alfie, you've got to love Hilda Braid. She's got such a wide range, and I do love her, I really do. In Citizen Smith, it was, oh, Wolfie. In EastEnders, oh, Alfie. Brilliant. She is going to be sorely missed because she looks like a Nan. Do you know what I mean? Nan should be poodle permed. Take a look at this.
What's that, darling?
Oh, that's a Christmas present for you, isn't it?
Can I open
No, no, you cannot, you cheeky devil. No, you've got to wait till the 25th of December like the rest of us, OK? Oh, here's Jake. Oh, sweet. Did you get a mince pies?
Yep.
Good lad.
And something else.
No, where'd you get that from?
Mickey still no dancing penguins, but he had this.
Hey, look, it's wiggling then. Come on, girl. Come on, Jake, join in.
No, I'll warm the mince pies up, thanks.
Really miserable,
I know, bless her heart, but it is thanks to Hilda Braid that we had the best written EastEnders episode of the year, which was the Armistice one.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Moving swiftly on, of course, we've been speaking a lot about the X Factor. Strictly Come Dancing, of course, it is the final. I should be whipping out a finger buffet for this at Arnold Towers. I think Darren is in with a chance. Colin, I like Colin, but there's something ever so slightly smug about his performance, and I'm sure he's fantastic in real life and a lovely little lad, but people do love to go on a journey with these
ability.
people. Yeah, yes, Zoe Ball, I think, has been on a fantastic journey over the last sort of few weeks, because she started off really well, and of course then she had flu, and she lost out on the public vote, and now she's back in the frame, so it's going to be classic anyway. It's going to be a bit of a tight one. Okay. The Wizard of Oz is on.
Hurrah!
Breaking news just in. Who knew? Click your heels together and enjoy. There they are. Look at it. That'll be us at the Christmas party tonight, wasn't it?
Oh, everyone looks happy about
That's
that.
on Sunday.
Sorry, don't they?
It's amazing how far you can go down that yellow brick road when you're trying to find a cab. Especially when you're in fancy dress. I can never part the traffic, and I was dressed as Moses. Who knew? Right. Chopra Town. I wanted to throw in a few gems in the mix that aren't necessarily festive, but they are terrific. Sanjeev Bhaskar stars as a private dick, along with Natalie Casey, who you may remember from 2 Pints of Lager and a Packet of Crisps.
Hollyoaks.
And also Hollyoaks. And I
MTV.
always thought she was fantastic in Hollyoaks, so I
Carol,
want
wasn't
bigger
she?
and better things for her. This could well be it. Take a look. You'll enjoy it, and a little exclusive for you. We've all been waiting for it. He's regenerating as we speak. Doctor Who, Christmas Day. It is must-see. I saw it this week. You'll love it. Take a look.
Here we are then. London, Earth, solar system, isn't it? Jackie, Mickey, blimey, no. Hold on. We're there. What was I going to say? There was something I had to tell you. Something important. What was it? No, hold on. Oh, I know. Merry Christmas.
I tell you, he's lost the Scottish accent.
Christmas Day.
That's pretty good. That's a badly
Very
driven
wide
TARDIS,
range.
though.
He looks good.
Mr. Tennant.
Richard.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure,
We've got
darling.
to talk about big screen things now.
Yeah, from the small screen exclusive to a big screen exclusive. Carla, give it to us, baby.
Ben, this is just for you. Consider it an early Christmas present. Thrills and spills in Mission Impossible 3. Tom Cruise is back as Ethan Hunt. Bigger and bolder. More stunts, more hunks, more chicks, more... Anyway, here's the trailer.
Just looks brilliant. It looks so
I can't
good.
believe we've got to wait for that. I'm going to watch it again later after the show. Carla, another Hollywood premiere, though, last night.
Yep, another premiere, Jennifer Aniston's new movie, Rumour Has It, and she was out and about on the red carpet last night, the queen of the red carpet. Now, this movie is basically about a family who inspired the movie The Graduate. They're basically the Robinsons in this, but of course Jennifer takes it one step further. There you go, Kevin Costner and Jennifer were at that premiere last night, and Jennifer, I think, was pretty overwhelmed. There was about 100 members of the press there, and I don't think they were all there to talk about the movie. I think they had one thing on their mind. And so I don't think Jennifer was particularly keen on talking. I did, thankfully, manage to get a quick word in as I pole vaulted across the red carpet to catch her before I went in to talk about her plans for Christmas. And it looks like there's only one thing she really wants from Santa. I just want to know what you're doing for Christmas, Jennifer. How you planning?
I'm staying very quiet and hanging out with family and friends.
What, if you had one Christmas wish, what would it be, New Year's wish?
For 206 to come sooner.
I'm still stuck with the image of Carla with a pole. Now, box office news. Carla, box office news. Tell us more.
Oh, no, it's horrendous news for Peter Jackson, the director of King Kong. Very disappointing opening night, grossed $9 million only at the box office. I think the makers are very, very worried about this. Not exactly the stampede that they were expecting, but you know what, it's $18 million over budget, and I think maybe for the audience, it might be a bit long. It's over 3 hours long, so that might have something to do with it, but I reckon, give it a shot. I think it looks fantastic, and the reviews have been brilliant.
Yeah, how bizarre.
I think it might do really well here. I like the fact it's 3 hours long, because it means it won't finish quickly.
See, that's the Yanks for you. There's not enough popcorn in 3 hours.
Exactly.
Carla, thank you very much.
Thank you. Speak to you soon.
Have a great weekend. Now then, look, it's time for us to try and find out who our lucky winner of today's competition is. £10,000. Keith was giving you earlier on. We asked you which band had a hit with Merry Christmas, everybody. The answer was Slade. The computer has selected the winner at random from all the correct entries. So well done to Jan Rabbit from Kent. Congratulations.
Congratulations. You're £10,000 richer. Well done for that. That's almost it for this week. I just want to say good luck to the guys in Wembley. Oh, the X Factor guys, there they are.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, we're all still here. Now, just getting into the Christmas spirit, trying to relax now, guys. We've got your presents and stuff. We'll say happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to the ET viewers. Can you do that for us? Merry Christmas, everyone! And make sure you watch these guys tomorrow night. The winner is here. Right, pull a cracker. Yes. There we go. Come on, let's go. I won them both. I lost. How do you lot do?
Thank you very much, guys. Good luck to you all. I have to say, it's a big weekend for them. Big weekend for you, because it's your birthday, so happy birthday.
That was last weekend.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
was it last weekend?
But it's all right.
It's not last weekend.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, no, I got it wrong.
That's how much we know each other.
And it's your birthday tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Richard. Happy birthday, Jen.
Happy Christmas, everybody.
Thank you.
That's it from us. We'll see you next time. Have a great Christmas.
So really last weekend?
It really was last weekend.
I thought it was this weekend. Oh.
Entertainment Today, sponsored by Universal Music and Asda's Artist of the Week, the Pussycat Dolls.